Good morning, everyone. We are back at the ASL. We've got Group B. As you can see, we've got a stellar lineup. It's going to be Rush, Mind, Killer, and Mini. And of course, joining me today is the one and only Eonzerg. What's going on, man?
What's up, Nyoken? Hello, everyone. I'm glad to be here, Another day of ASL, of course, high level competitive game in the offline stage. I mean, you can't really get anything better than this.
Yeah, man. I'm so hyped for this group because it's got one of my favorite Terran players, Rush, going up against some really strong opponents. Mine did really well last season. Mini, I'm waiting for him to come back, man, and deliver, and because in the past few seasons it really hasn't been his season. But really what I'm hoping for is that today delivers as good of games as yesterday, because those games yesterday, if you have not seen them, I highly recommend them.
Yeah, for sure. Many good games, many good strategies. I have to say, me watching server to server over the years, more than 15 years, watching server to server. I have to say, yesterday games, they were kind of unique in their own way. I don't want to spoil too much if you didn't see it, but yeah, I feel like we saw strategies that are not really common.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Yesterday, Calm's polypoid build, I was asking some of my friends if they've ever seen it before, and they were saying, yeah, the extra gas long distance mining was a 2v2 type of style that they had seen a few times. So it's interesting that 2v2 is kind of, I guess, coming into some of the 1v1 play. I wonder if there will be any other races implementing that type of move, because I've never seen it before. Never.
Um, yeah, in that specific way, honestly, I didn't see like that. Because I have seen it when the gas is closer to the
Yeah.
ramp. Like for example,
Yeah.
like Queen did it. I have seen it before. Like on match point, it was also possible to do that because the gas was very close to the entrance, so you made your hatchery in a way that is almost like doing a wall. So yeah, um, it was actually a bit shocking to see that many drones getting the
Yeah.
long distance gas. You don't see that very often.
Yeah, when we got a look at his main, I was like, geez, man. He literally had 3 on minerals. It was wild. But it got him the victory, and you gotta do what you gotta do. Now, our group today, we've got 2 Terrans, a Zerg, and Mini. Who do you got your eye on this group?
For sure, Rush and Mini. Of course, I'm a third player, and I will Killer to advance for sure. But I feel like these two, Mini and Rush, are the most strong, strongest players in this group, and they are the most skilled. These guys are the ones truly leading the races. I mean, in the case of Rush, of course, there is more competition, but in the case of Mini, uh, he and with along with the Snow, they're actually the best Protoss players right now.
Yeah, and I think Mini's got his own style. He's very multitask oriented. He will just pick you apart, whether it's shuttle drops, 20-minute reavers, just delaying your push. I mean, he can play, or Templar drops too. He can do literally everything, whereas when you face Snow, well, you can be pretty confident that it's going to be reaver into carriers. That's just what he does. But Rush, on the other hand, we already saw him play in the round of 24, and this guy is super deadly across all matchups. I love his multitask in Terran versus Zerg, but I also love his multitask in Terran versus Protoss. Like when we saw him play versus Stork, he scanned the carriers, and instead of going for a third base, going for a fourth base, he just said, you know what, man? I know I can kill you right now, so I'm just going to go for the timing, and that's what he did. So I like how he's willing to just go and end the game when he knows he can do it.
Yeah, I feel like we didn't really talk too much about this, but I feel like Rush is one of one of the best micro players in the scene. The stuff he can do with the units, honestly, he's very unique in that department, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, his micro in Terran versus Zerg is crazy. There's no joke. There's games that I watch and he's attacking 5 bases at the same time. It's crazy. And then of course his busting sometimes is pretty good in Terran versus Zerg. Sometimes you kind of scratch your head when he attacks into lurkers and sunkens, and you're like, "What was that, man?" But sometimes they end up working out, and
You know,
you
I'm
just
glad you
shock.
mentioned that, Nyoken. I'm actually glad you mentioned that because I feel like what that is one of the reasons he's like so good at that is that he's like willing to try.
Yeah,
He's taking the risk. He's learning from that, and like he fails, okay, but like next time he's going to score maybe. So
yeah,
I'm really like I like he's like trying. Like he, for example, like someone more like more conservative will say like, oh, I tried this before, I'm not going to try this again because it didn't work out, But for him, it's like I learned my lesson. Next time, I'm going to make like few adjustments, and maybe it's going to work.
yeah. He is definitely somebody that will push his limits and adjust and see if he can push the limits even farther than he did last time. That is true. It's not something that I had considered. Um, I kind of really want to know the skill level of mine because last season, for me, he just came out of nowhere. And I was shocked that he ended up going all the way to the finals. But he played super solid. Like, there wasn't really anything that I thought was lacking from his play. Like, every game was just solid. It wasn't like he played crazy builds. I think what was maybe the craziest build he tried was like the 8 racks on Heartbreak Ridge that got instantly scouted. But other than that, I mean, this guy just played solid openers and just beat you in the mid game.
Um, yeah, you know what is like my problem right now is that he was like second in the last ASL. So, like naturally, we are going to be expecting more from him, and we are like curious about what is his shape. But I'm gonna be honest, like before the last ASL, I didn't even know like mine was playing.
Yeah, I didn't either. He was just all of a sudden here. I was like, oh, you're back, I guess.
Yeah, it was like honestly, it was like a beautiful storm to see because like he plays so many solid games. It's not really like he was chasing his way to the final or anything. Like he played very solid games, and he played some of the most amazing Terran versus Pro I have seen against Best as well. Like he controlling the match from start to finish. Um, but yeah, that is my issue with mine is that he made a second the last ASL. So whatever he is making now, unless it's a final, is probably going to be a disappointment.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it will be tough to go as deep as he did last season. I think our interviews are. Oh, no, we're not over. But, yeah, I'm trying to think about how he played last season. He plays super solid. I remember the 3 racks and the 4 racks games, but also played very solid in Terran versus Protoss. I think most of the games were upgrade Terran. And with I think the first matchup or second matchup, is it Mine versus Mini?
Killer.
Mine versus Killer?
Yeah.
Okay, Mine versus Killer. I was gonna say actually, I really want to see Mine versus Mini because Mini is somebody that can play. Shuttle Man in the game can get very volatile very quickly, but based on how Mine had played last season, that could backfire if Mini doesn't get a lot of damage done. Mine could be going
Yeah.
into the mid game in a really good position.
Yeah. You're right. Like is I Many has always this kind of like
Oh
situations
yeah.
that he can do so much multitasking and do damage and then like lose everything. And you're right.
Yeah, like I don't know, I don't remember if it was last season or the season before, but that game versus Sock, I guess it was last season where Mini kind of just he had like more shuttles than he had units, man. I was like, dude, you gotta have actually stuff to kill this guy.
Yeah, that was the last season. That was just true. So many shuttles, and they were like empty.
Yeah, and he had like Archons too. It's like, dude, what's this unit comp, man? Vultures, they massacre Archons.
Yeah, I don't think he was trolling. I think it's just his style. I have seen him making Archons, um, but that time didn't really work out.
Yeah, when Archons get into the mineral line, like they can all of a sudden wipe out the workers real quick. It is an interesting unit to see in Terran versus Protoss. But like you said, our first matchup is Mind versus Killer. What do you think Killer's going to have to do to take down somebody like Mind, who we know is just going to play like a solid opener? I don't expect Mind to play 5 racks or something like, very aggressive, but what do you think Killer's got to do? Because we've seen a lot of 3 hatches lately.
So the thing is, Killer is he's a very aggressive player. So I feel like against mine, he will need for sure to do muta damage, 100%. I don't really think he's going to be playing this conservative play of 7 mutas, go drones, and no, I feel like he's going to really commit to mutalist, and based on that and the damage he can get, he's going to set the tempo for the game. Probably with taking a tier expansion and making a transition from that. But the most important is actually that he is able to do muta damage without trading bad. That is going to be the key for me in that matchup.
Yeah, because we really haven't seen many Zergs trade that well in the Zerg versus Terrans so far. Actually, the only player that I think traded decently but still ended up losing was Ivory. So yeah, I agree. Killer's gonna have to do some damage with the Mutalisk. It's gonna be tough though, because I think I remember Mind even playing Valkyries last season, but he did play consistently 3 or 4 racks initial openers. It wasn't like he instantly rushed to Valkyries.
By the way, it's a best of 1, so we can even expect some A barracks from mine.
That is true. We were talking about Retro being a good 8 racks map yesterday, and that's exactly what JYJ went for. I'm trying to see if I can understand any of these comments here.
So Retro so far is at least in my experience in the ASL, it's looking solid for Terran players.
Well, I think Retro's solid. I think it's got a somewhat easy 3rd base to take. The 4th base isn't that far, and there's tiny chokes. If you funnel in as Protoss, you're just going to get eaten up by the tanks and mines. So I think Retro's a fine map. And also a lot of players, they end up just taking the middle. They don't even worry about taking one of the bottom or middle bases. They're just you know what, while I'm pushing, I'm just going to take the center base. And it seems to be working pretty effectively for them.
Oh wow, look at these stats TBC for mine. They are good stats, to be honest.
Yeah, man, last season he crushed it. I was thinking last season I don't remember him playing TVT really until the finals. He went through a lot of Zergs and Protoss players on his way to the finals. I'm looking at, he was in Group D last season, and he had to play Hero, and he had to play Queen, and he took down both of them.
Yeah.
Now we're getting a look at Killer stats. Killer, he is a great player, but doesn't have that many games in ASL. So the 33% win rate, I don't think you really need to think too much about it, because this guy can play at the top level, but it is going to be a tough group for him.
Yeah, Killer didn't play too much. On top of that, those stats are so surprising to me. I asked myself the times he played in the ASL, he probably played some monsters, because
Yeah.
Killer CBC is actually good, and he has here a 25% win rate.
Yeah, I mean, and once you get into ASL, that's it, man. Everybody deserves to be here. There's a reason that when you look in the ASL history books, you just see the same players every time, because they're all monsters. They're so impossible to beat. Our players are ready with game 1, so let's get into it. It's Retro Mind against Killer. Okay, in the top left, our 2nd place finisher from last season, it's Mind. And in the bottom right, our red Zerg, looking to continue Zerg's domination this season. It is Killer.
Yeah, I remember the days Killer used to be the top Zerg in the scene. That was right after Kespa switched to StarCraft 2. And like the guy was doing so much stuff with the Muta micro, like controlling two control groups at the same time, like stuff that you could see from Jadon, like Killer was doing it. And like I have seen like people like try Valkyries against him, like vessels or whatever, and he just like snipe everything and end up killing you with Mutas. I'm not really sure if we're going to see this Killer, but like that's how it used to be back then.
Yep, and this could be an 8 Rex because this SCV was slightly late. Oh, well, it's still going to be a depot, but it's going to be that a wall like we were expecting to see on Retro. Now, I want to know what the opener is going to... Oh, there he is, Steve Jung! I was about to say, we're looking for Steve Jung. There he is!
Look at Steve, man, looking good. Steve always looking good.
He's got the suit on.
Yeah. Oh, what a guy. I love that guy.
But we've got a lot of foreigners showing up at Team Liquid. You know, there was a thread about getting tickets. It looks like those foreigners that are visiting actually ended up getting them. So congratulations to you guys. It's quite the experience.
It's so cool that there is still like foreigners going to the Africa studio. I'm not gonna lie, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's really nice and it's quite big. But there are multiple studios, so yeah, I went to a couple of them while I was in Korea. But look at this, Eonzerg. Oh, I guess we're not far enough along for the gas timing. I was thinking, oh my gosh, we're gonna have another 3 hatch, but we haven't even put down the pool yet.
Yeah, it's a 12 hatchery, 12 pool, and then 12 gas maybe, or 13 gas. I'm not really sure.
Well, whatever it is not the 2-minute gas, which we have been seeing really in the past few months. It's again going to be more of a macro oriented build. It's not going to be 3 hatch, but it is going to be a 2.5 hatch build.
Yeah, Nyoken, they are making so many optimizations with these builds. I can't really like keep up. Like it's like they always like making with something new. Like is 11 hatchery, or is this 12 hatchery with 12 pool or 13 pool, or you know, so many updates. It's hard to keep up, to be honest.
Yeah, this is where you really wish you knew Korean, because I'm sure there are comments in chat like, hey, why do you do 13 pool, or why are you building a 215 gas? And just, you're never gonna know unless you can get some text or some audio translated. But it seems like Zergs these days have really focused more on getting more larvae, more hatches. Again, this is still a 2.5 hatch, so the tech is going to be really fast, but not as fast as it could have been. First few lings
4
are out.
Zerlings. I'm surprised he made 4 Zerlings. Like cross spawns as well?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess he just wants to be safe. I like 4 lings because you can pressure the SCV and then also leave 2 lings on the ramp, and that prevents the SCV from really ever getting back in, and you can get sneaky with, you know, maybe you want to go for a lurker bust or something.
By the way, Killer respecting mines, gain sense. He's not even sending the Overlord to the Terran base.
Yeah, a lot of players in the older days would look around with their Marines, and if they ever caught that Overlord, you can be pretty sure that it would die. So I think that's a smart move from Killer, not willing to risk it. And this is going to be fast +1 for Terran, but also somewhat fast Academy. So similar to last season, this is most likely going to be a 3 or 4 racks play from Mind with upgrades.
Does this CB... Oh wait, he's blocking the ramp, never mind. Thought he will like get into the main. But no, he's actually blocking that.
There we go.
But you know, he's seeing like the second gas timing. Oh wait, what?
Oh, he shift moved all the way across the map and then came back for those minerals. That's something you can do. And he gets in there and spots the Spire. So those 4 lings actually didn't prevent the SCV at all.
Wow, Nyoken, but that was like a long shifting, by the way.
Yeah, players, I've seen that more and more these days, that they do this shift move, but it is a big shift move. Like, he went all the way to top right. You would be wondering, like, why are you all the way up there, dude? But
like, I actually thought like he was controlling manually the SCP. That's
why
so yeah. Oh wait a minute. These mines are in danger, Nyoken.
Yeah, luckily Mind is able to retreat. That could have been 4 or 5 Marines Gone in an instant. Those sixlings would have eaten them up. We've got the 4 racks coming in though, so mind, he is going to have a ton of units pretty soon. Really, 5? No, it's got to be for turrets.
Yeah, honestly, I would be surprised like how fast was the academy. Like because I thought like okay, he's doing that to scan, to do like very fast scans and see the tech, but that wasn't the case at all.
Yeah, it is curious that he still ended up getting the comsats after scouting everything. Comsats do really slow down your SCV production quite a bit, but I guess he wants to make sure that maybe he didn't miss anything. But the first few Mutalisks are coming out. There's the 7 that we expected to come out, and you know 7's the magic number to one-shot SCVs, so 9 will have to be careful.
Wow, this Muta 7, the magic number to kill SCVs, and if these Marines are out of position, they can do damage, but you know what? Killer just wanna like test the waters with the Marines.
Okay, I'm not sure exactly what that was. Maybe he thought the Marines were out on the map, but that, so far, not going well for Killer. We were talking about how he definitely needs to do damage with the Mutas, and it looks like he has found maybe an opening in the main. Okay, he's going to knock down 4 or 5 SCVs. This is pretty good. Also stalling the factory. And he so far hasn't lost a single Muta. That's a great trade for him.
Indeed, that was a really great trade. And by the way, I was totally grown with the Killer play. Actually, he's playing like 7 Mutas, going like full eco. The only I really don't see is like the 4 expansion. I mean the tier expansion.
Yep, and there it is at bottom middle. So he's going to take a close by third base. It's always hard to figure out where Zerg wants to take their third base. And that, yeah, that could have been a disaster. Luckily, he doesn't lose anything, and you can hear the scans going off. Okay, there we go. That's the reason he got the scans, is because he knew the third hatch was going to be, or he knew the third hatch was in the main, and he wanted to know exactly where to go snipe that hatchery, because it could be anywhere. And he finds it with like his quadruple scan.
Nyoken, there is an issue for Killer here. Many of the Mutas are with low HP,
Yep.
and there is already a +1 attack for Terran. I don't see any Sunkens or anything to like mass servings to hold this.
Yeah, and because he got his academy so fast, these Marines definitely have stim in range by now. So yeah, Killer's going to be in a bit of trouble. He needs to get a lot of links out. His supply is really high. There we go, there's the links coming up. But even this, I'm not sure, will be enough because Terran does have very quick +1.
Yeah, and he's doing a transition as well to Starports, but I only saw 1. Did you see the second?
Yeah, I only saw 1 too. I think it may be building underneath the factory. Here we go. I don't think Killer can kill this army. There are 3 groups of 2.5 groups of units, but that's one way to start whittling down the Marines.
I'm not afraid here for Killer, man. I don't think he has like enough. And he's like counter-attacking with Serlings. Never mind, he's trying to intercept maybe reinforces from Terran. But yeah, I feel like he needs more. Like with this tier group coming to this army, like you need lurkers.
Yeah, and I don't think we saw lurkers or hydras anywhere out on the map. And okay, if this group gets together with the rest of the army, Killer's in big time trouble. Okay, yeah, he had to jump on this instantly because there's a massive difference between 2 groups of units and 3 groups of units.
Oh my god, Nyoken, there are no Sunkens, and that army is so far now from.
Oh my god.
I mean, the Mutas are so far. He's in the natural.
Yeah,
he's
he's
killing drones.
Yeah, and all the Marines are, and they're clumped together. Wow, this is a nightmare scenario. He's gonna have to try and really whittle it down with the Mutas on the left side. Is it enough though? A lot of Lings coming through the main, and it looks like Killer is going to easily slam that army.
But he loses a lot of Mutas doing that, and he produced many Serlings, and mine is already transitioning to vessels, I believe. So yeah, I'm not really sure. Like, was that really like a good trade?
I'm kind of on the fence because at least Killer has 4 hatches, so he can drone up real quick. But I agree, he built a lot of links, so that's a lot of larvae to be used, and this army from Terran is replenishable. Looking at the supply, 77 to 65, it doesn't seem so bad, but there we go. I was waiting for him to resaturate the natural, because he did lose a decent amount of drones during that attack.
Nyoken, that is 3 evolution chambers.
3 Evo chambers?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess we're getting all the upgrades this game.
It has to be like maybe like Hydras and Zerglings. Like that is going to be the army composition with the filer.
I guess so. I can't imagine him really rushing Hydra upgrades. Maybe he misbuilt an extra evolution chamber. But we've got the first vessels moving out onto the map. Marine Medic Ball is still around 2 groups of units. I think Mind is sitting on 5 racks right now, so he has the ability to take a fast third base if he wants.
Okay, so he's making lurkers. At least he has lurkers. That is good. I don't think he's going to die anytime soon to Mind's push. Oh wow, he's even gonna snipe a vessel. That is great.
Yeah, and he sniped the vessel that had full energy too. So that's a good pick off there. And we do hear the lurkers obviously unmorphing. This marine group shouldn't really get any damage done. Now I want to know what's the follow-up for Mind. I still don't see any more racks. Well, actually I do. I think 1 more rack's got built, so maybe he will try and bust. Oh, he is. He's going for it. He's got 1/1 upgrades. There's no defiler. Oh no.
Not sure he's exposed now.
Oh my, he snipes both defilers! What is happening? He might even snipe the 3rd defiler. He gets the lurker. There's not a lot of lings. There's no mutas. Luckily there's crackling and the lurkers complete on time, so he will not die here, but that was razor thin.
Indeed, like few more marines and that natural was like gonna die for sure.
Yeah, especially if he picks off this defiler, he's gonna lose. It's so low. He is gonna barely save it, and this will be pushed back. Luckily for Killer, there's no Firebat mixed in here, because I think Firebats would be able to push through. Well, okay, 6 Marines are still surviving.
Yeah, he's doing like these skirmishes here with the Marines are getting a lot of value in my opinion. And mine is getting a tier base, so it's 3 bases against 3 bases. I'm a bit worried for Killer here.
Yeah, luckily for Killer, it's retro where I think it'll be hard to, also take a fast 4th base. I see that sometimes on Polyvoid where right after they take mineral only, they also take a 4th base because of how close it is. So I guess that's at least going for him. But yeah, Killer not really in the position that he wants to be, but he's feeling confident in his position because he's taking a 4th base at bottom left.
Yeah, but there is a lack of lurkers in this game. Like it's all of them like being killed or irradiate.
Yeah. And
that's a lot of gas invested. Like he actually needs more lurkers. Like look at mine already making firebats. Like a swarm and lings, they're not going to be enough.
And with firebats mixed in with the army too, he's no longer going to be able to rely on just having, dark swarm zerglings to push the army back, because those firebats will chew through them pretty quickly. This army just looks so tiny from Killer right now.
Oh, the vessel. He got it!
He got 2 of holy smokes, he got both of them. And the huge plague. Ho-ho! And a big hit.
Oh, these vessels are doing work, man. He's radiating so much. But I have to say, like, he's losing some vessels as well. So, at least the vessel count is not too crazy. But look at this, like, that 4 base got cancelled now.
Yeah, Killer's in deep trouble now. He's not able to stabilize the 4th base. He's not able to get one of the corners. And it's just been complete map control, really, for mine. Like, every time I look at the map, he's past the center. He's the one forcing the issue, and he has a 3rd base in the never-ending rally of these Marines.
Marines are 1-2 great. That is pretty strong.
There we go, Ling counterattack, but this is not going to do any damage. It's just going to run by, and all of a sudden we look at supplies, and Mind is basically doubling Killer's army right now.
Mine again, like doing a big attack to the main. I don't see lurkers, but there is like the filers and he can play, so mine need to be like careful about that. But you can work spending a Sterling here again, like top right.
Yeah, I think you got to take top right. I think taking these middle bases are hard to defend because you. Well, they're not hard to defend, but it's like after you get those 4 bases, how are you going to get a 5th base? At least when you take top right, you obviously know you're just going to take the low ground base. But what I'm worried about, Eonzerg, even though we haven't seen it, is look at Killer's main. There are no Scourge anywhere. Like, if there was a drop, this game's over.
Yeah, that is true. The thing is, like, Mine have lost so many vessels that I don't really feel like he's like going to focus on drops right now.
Oh, well,
oh my
there
God.
we go. And luckily
7.
the Ling spot him, but he needs to get back, and he needs to get back in a hurry because there is 0 defense here, and this is a huge drop. Whether or not this kills Killer doesn't really matter because it draws all the attention here, and you can see Mind attacking the mid-left at the same time.
Yeah, not only that, yeah. And he loses all the eco in the main Nyoken, like, I mean, this is already like successful drop.
Yeah, this is ridiculous damage. And
is he killing the Defiler Mount?
Yeah, if he kills the Defiler Mount, how are you ever going to save any of your bases anymore? Which he did.
If he kills the Spire as well, if he gets the Spire, I feel like this is it.
He's killing everything, dude. He's got such a huge army. He hasn't busted bottom left yet, but I'm sure he's going to soon, and there he goes. And now what do you do as Killer? I think all he can really do is counterattack, but there's just a random army in the center of the map, and that dies too.
Yeah, that was counterattack with 4 servings. Honestly, I didn't expect too much from it, but yeah, I don't know how do you actually like make a comeback here because you are losing your 4 base, you lose the Defiler Mount, you lose all the drones. That is, in my opinion, the most important thing he lose. Like, you can remake buildings, but if you don't have drones, that is a problem.
Yeah, and Killer losing his 4th base again, he's going to try and take mid-right, but it's instantly spotted by whatever that army is at mid-right. In fact, it died.
Oh, he could get this message with the muta.
Yeah, but does it matter? It's 59 supply. Like, you got to assume probably 40 of it is drones. Like, this army's just non-existent.
Yeah. Do you remember when you say, I'm curious how my form is going to be? Well, Nyoken, I think it's looking pretty good.
Yeah, this was just not close. Like, I'm sitting here wondering, like, where did it go wrong for Killer? Was it him building too many lings?
By the way, he's transitioning already to siege tank. I see 3 factories with machine chops outside the Natural. Like, he's doing kind of like what YJ was doing, but like, in my opinion, like more like solid with 3 factories.
Yeah, he's doing everything. There's the tanks that you're talking about, but he also has battle cruisers coming. Like, there's the physics lab on his science facility, while also having, yeah, he also has drops and he has vessels. I don't know where he's getting all this gas, but he's got like everything.
He's on 3 bases. How do you afford like 3 machine chops with GG?
Well, that was some top tier play in Mind, looking like he is in beast mode for this group. You can clearly see he practiced very diligently for his matchup versus Killer.
That was pretty solid. That was actually really solid. I mean, I don't really have like anything to say about that game from my point of view. Like, that was like, can you make it better? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so, because there was no point in that game where you thought Mind was in trouble at all. Even though he lost his army to the Mutilings, like you were saying, he still traded really well. Like, there was nothing really that Killer did that was in his favor, other than, you know, the initial mutas where they got the 5 SCV kills. But that was it.
I counted already like 4 times Killer tried to do like a backstab with Zerlings, and none of them actually worked.
Yeah, like, to the 3rd base, there's already a bunker set up. And once this happened, you knew that this was probably going to be the game-ending move. Like, this is just such a huge drop, and there was nothing. No sunken, no lurker, no lings, no anything in position. Look at the fire bats. They killed every drone.
Kill all the eco. Kill the Defiler Mount. Yeah, that is too much damage. But let's be honest, like, even without the drop, like, he was already like struggling.
Yeah, he just couldn't solidify a 4th base. It would have been different if he could have gotten the corner for example, but without getting the corner, Terran's just not scared of 3-baser. So we're going to be going into a break, and then we'll be back with Rush versus Mini. We are back, and we're going into our second match of the day, which, as you can see right there, it is going to be Mini versus Rush. And this is going to be fireworks, man. Both players have insane multitasks. We're getting a look at Mini's stats right now. That's pretty freaking solid versus Terran, because you know he's playing players like Flash, players like Light, Royal, and Rush every single season.
Yeah, like it's funny. These two players are like very fast and very like multitask directed, but like I don't feel like retro is the kind of map for that kind of player. I feel like retro is like in some ways like you play the more solid you can.
Yeah, that is true, because you got to have a solid build to take that third base. It's pretty hard to attack into the high ground and, solidify it. So I do agree there, but Retro does have kind of big mains, so stuff like shuttles can be annoying to deal with because you can drop in so many positions, and we know that this guy for sure is somebody that loves shuttles. But
Yeah, I agree. But like, like I think like if we were like watching them on Tempest, that would be insane.
oh yeah, I would love to see them try and multitask on Tempest. Because there's also a lot of bases on Tempest. Like you remember the game of Royal versus Snow? Like Snow had what, 6 bases, but every base could be dropped. Whether you're dropping directly at that base or like behind the mineral lines, like there's a lot of bases to attack, and that is a very high win rate versus Protoss. 60% overall and 7-3 in its last 10 games.
Nyoken, like if you look at the TPP stats, it's funny to me that actually like he actually lose against Flash Protoss.
He did? Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that on Eclipse.
Not only that, he lose against Flash, sir.
Yeah, that was not the ideal series for for Rush versus Flash? Because did they only play 2 games or did they play 3? I feel like he played versus all of the races.
It was three games, I believe.
Yeah, I think he played every single race and lost 0-3. That's a bit devastating. But we're going into our game. It's going to be again retro. This time, Mini versus Rush. Okay, in the top right in the pink, it is the one and only Mini. Meanwhile, in the bottom right, our brown Terran, it is Rush. Well, I was saying that this map has pretty open mains, and even though Mini loves shuttles, Rush actually likes to drop quite consistently too. So if we see dropship play from him, I would not be surprised.
Yeah, that is true. And looking at these positions, I don't know, I had the feeling that Terran is probably like loving these positions. Like taking his tier is going to feel like very, very natural. Taking the 4 in the mid is going to be also very natural to him. Mini, like, he's probably not going to love to have all this like have to face the Terran so straight. Like if it was like cross spans, he probably like will love that a bit more.
Yeah, you definitely are liking this spot for Rush, since taking the third base at bottom middle, it's going to take, a big effort for Mini to run all of his units down to bottom left, go up onto that ramp. It would be different if, for example, Rush was bottom left and Mini was top left. But yeah, this is good spawns, I agree, for Rush so far. We had an extremely fast scout from Mini there, even though it's a 4-player map. I guess he was trying to get lucky in gas steal.
Well, the gamble didn't work if that was the case.
Yeah, it definitely didn't work. But they are going to intercept each other's workers. We have a lot of Mini fans in the crowd right now. And okay, we have gasless from Rush.
Ooh. So it's like barrack, command center, bunker, or...
Yeah, that's what.
And Mini is like playing like Cybercore, so this is actually a really good opening for Rush here.
Yeah, and I think it's a late Cybercore also. I think it's Zealot. And also going for, what was it, like an 8 or 9 probe scout? I mean, that really cripples your econ in the very early stages of the game. I guess it's going to be depot before command center because he didn't scout Mini just yet, and he doesn't want to, put down a command center and run into a Zealot. And he's right this time, because a Zealot is coming right now.
Wow. Mini actually didn't even like scout. I feel like he could get into the main with the worker. Do you think like he knows already that it's like gasless?
No.
I mean, he made gas now actually.
There's no way you can tell from this other than seeing, I guess, multiple SCVs. Like, I don't feel like if you were going for a factory, you would be pulling this many SCVs. But other than that, yeah, he's not really sure exactly what's going on.
He's still like hybrid build here, like gas is late, but he made gas, and now he's going to make the CC as well. Wow, nice! He's blocking that expansion.
Yeah, but look at this probe control. He already knocks it down to 20 health, and it was, like you said, a hybrid opener because Rush thought he was going to get gas stolen, so he panicked and put down the gas, and now he puts down the command center. It's not a big deal, but it is, not as streamlined of a gasless expand as you could have gotten. We do have a skip of range from Mini. That means he's most likely going to go into a fast robo in a second.
And why I see this happening, like skip of range, and like, can you really like send SCVs and Marines and kill the Protoss?
Well, some players like to do that, but with the Zealot also out, that may be a little bit tough. But yeah, I have seen a lot of players go for that when they know that range has been skipped. And it could be dangerous if Rush had gone for factory first, but because that's not the case, I think pulling SCVs and just having Marines, that's going to be really hard to make work. 2
factories. So we are not going to see like a fast starport at least.
Yeah, no starport this game. Now it really comes down to whether Rush wants to go for mass tanks or if he wants to do, you know, something like 1 to 3 tanks with rallied vultures. So he's building more Marines, so this could be a push. This could be 3 tanks.
Yeah, but I really ask myself if that can work, because many, I don't really see like a tier expansion for him. I ask myself if he's going to be aggressive on 2 bases.
Yeah, and also versus someone who's as god tier with Reaver control as Mini, I agree this would be hard to make work. But he does get double add-on, and there's a support bay, so it is going to be straight Reaver, no observatory just yet.
Yeah, now he's going to the scouts, there is nothing, so yeah, I feel like he needs to be very careful if you want to be aggressive, because Reaver plus Shuttle plus Zealot can be, I mean, so strong. Like you can lose sometimes you can even lose 2 or 3 siege tanks for free.
Yeah, before they even get off really any damage at all. That is true. We do have the first tank out, and still need to confirm whether it is going to be tanks or vultures. There's only a single upgrade going. There's no more Marines being built, so maybe this isn't a push. Okay, he's got turrets coming up. Okay, it is double upgrade, so this is going to be a push with speed and mines, and this is a strong push. And if we think about what Mini has right now, what is it, like 2 goons, 1 zealot, and 1 reaver? It's not that much, but Protoss somehow always makes magic happen with a single reaver.
Yeah, Nyoken, there is only 1 gateway, so actually I can see this working as long as the reaver doesn't connect. If that reaver connects, well, this is going to be an epic fail, and Mini is going to be in a really great position.
Well, SCB comes in, instant reaction, so he is just going to turn around from that for now. You see that the speed and mines are going to kick in. He's going to try and go for a run by, but there's no way that this is going to work. This is pro level. Moves like this just don't work, but it does allow him to now move his tanks and Marines in position to top middle if he wants. It looks like he is just going to back off.
Yeah, he's not really committing. I like this, to be honest. Would be a disaster to lose all these tanks. But at the same time, Mini, I feel like he made, oh my god, he made shuttle speed.
Yeah, well, speaking of disaster, having a turret is great, but he unfortunately forgot to lay any mines, and that means that this Reaver is going to start racking up a lot of damage, and Russia's too far out on the map to turn around, so he's going to have to manage this with just what's ever coming out of the factories, which was vultures for now. Okay, actually, Mini turns around. I'm surprised.
Yeah, he knows there are tanks out, and he doesn't have that many units to defend. So if he actually managed to deal with this army, that's probably the game.
I think Russia's going to kill this third base. There's so many Marines, vultures, and tanks, and mines now set up, that's going to be hard to deal with, but he knocks down one of the vultures. He's trying to zealot bomb this. There we go! Almost gets it. Good shot there. Takes down vultures, but I still think that this base is going to die.
Second shot for Mini. This is not working, so we're going to see a cancel on that expansion for sure. And now there is a counter attack with 2 shuttles, but Rush this time is more ready.
Yeah, and also the shuttle just ran over a mine, so Rush knows it's coming. This is starting to really favor Rush now. Oh no, is this a disaster drop? The Reaver unloaded first, and one of them dies. There's a Goliath there shooting the shuttle, so that's got to be careful. Luckily, it didn't die just yet, so he will at least force an SCV pull. But I don't know. Look at the supplies. It's even actually slightly in favor of Rush. Okay, this is one way to come back. Oh, great mine dodge. Of course it doesn't fire. It's a Reaver, man. They don't fire.
Okay, Mini didn't cancel the Nexus, and now he does all the shuttles, all the Reavers. Mini, I feel like he loses all the momentum.
Yeah, he's in big time trouble. And that probe that went to mid right and built a Nexus, I think Rush probably saw it. And Rush already has, 4 factories? He got a late armory, so he's not rushing upgrades, so he'll be able to flood factories and go for a +1 timing if he wants. Mini in response is going for 6 gates, which I think he has to go for because he needs a lot of stuff now.
This is so funny. I know. I don't think I ever seen this. Like, Rush is actually with some tanks in the map, just like hidden. Those are like, it's a big army.
Yeah, he did a good job to really hide where they are, and even though they're stuck right now, at some point in the middle of the game, he may actually be able to save them. Mid-right ends up getting scouted by a single vulture, so now Rush knows what's going on, and I'm not sure if that's a 5th factory in his base or if it's Starport.
Well, he found the expansion, so I imagine he's going to aggressive into that. Or maybe he's just like, oh my god, it's a lot of factories now. Okay, I don't think there is transition from this.
Yeah, this is 6 fact with an academy. Okay, Zealot Bomb. Does he really not get any? Okay, he gets 1 tank, but he loses 3 or 4 Zealots for that.
There's a Cerberus one.
Yeah, this is going to be really hard. He needs to get a Citadel right now. Like, he still doesn't have a Citadel, so his Zealots are not going to have speed. And Zealots are just... they're just almost useless if you don't have speed at this point. And we know that a 6-fact timing is coming in maybe the next 30 seconds or so.
The thing is, Nyoken with 6 factories, as long as he killed the tier base, like, he can even like just like stay and take a base for himself, right? Like, he's going to be happy with that. I don't think like he requires to go kill the Protoss, right?
Oh yeah, he definitely does not need to kill the Protoss. He just needs to make sure that this guy loses mid-right. Well, we're gonna have the push now. This is a big tank count with Goliath range also, but it is gonna be hard to attack into the ramp. So Rush still needs to be careful. And that army that did get stuck at at top left, look at it now. It's trying to come back all the way and sync up with the rest of the army. Or not. He's gonna go kill top middle.
Yeah, many didn't see that coming.
Definitely not. And this is going to draw the attention to Mini, and it's going to be an instant cancel, I imagine, of this Nexus. I can't really imagine him being able to save this. There's no way. Regardless of what happens with this army, the job is done. Look, he pulls everything to top middle. There's no way he can save that base. So now mid-right is definitely going to get busted.
Yeah. Well, at least he's killing these tanks and he's not losing too much, but yeah, the tier base is...
Yeah, mid-right's dead, and he's going to lose all the probes there, too.
Tier base now is dead, Eco is dead, I'm starting to love this position for Rush so much.
Look at how many tanks there are! There's just so many tanks!
By the way, not zero the speed yet, so he can even like go full rampage in the main.
Yeah, I think he's just going to try and end the game. I think what Mini has to do is counterattack, make sure reinforcements can't sync up, and then maybe he can get a massive flank off, and that's the way to kill the army. But this is pro-level play. Like, they don't stop pushing you. Like, Rush is still pushing. A probe transfer, okay, at least it didn't get blown up, but did you see what Mini has for an army? It's two Templars, that's it. These goons are dead.
You don't attack 6 factors now, you can.
Yeah. It's over. GG. Well done from Rush. And that 3 tank, 4 Marine, 6 Vulture attack just did way too much damage. And the Reaver drop just did not accomplish what Mini was looking for.
Clinical play by Rush. Honestly, like, he made such a good decision making with the tanks he sent early on to that tier base of Mini. He actually killed the Nexus. Like, Mini didn't cancel it. And then he proceeded to lose the shuttles, 2 shuttles in the main of Rush. And I feel like that was it. Like, that was the game. Just like he lose too much, lose all the momentum in the game. I mean, I'm but happy for Rush. Like, below the choice also, I feel like was like very appropriate for this game. Like, the six factories production was something like, even if he was attacking the tier base of Mini, like, he could like produce enough units to deal with a counter attack himself. So yeah, perfect play.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the correct response should have been from Mini, but as an outsider, I think instead of trying to save that base, like if he had just left the Reaver in the main of Rush, like he could have shut down that base for so long, like that, yes, he would have lost his 3rd base, but at least Rush wouldn't be mining on 2 bases for, like a minute or so, because it was a Vulture cycle. that had just came out. So it would have been 35 seconds or so before tanks popped out, before Goliath popped out. And that really is what the type of unit that you need to deal with the Reaver. So that could have been what, Mini was cringing about at the end of the game. But, in the spur of the moment, he did what he thought was right. And unfortunately, Rush was just a little bit stronger in that game. But this does set us up for a TVT as our winners match. And thinking back to last season, I had high hopes for Mind and the Mind versus JYJ finals. But actually, JYJ was just on another level. So I'm kind of concerned for him going up versus Rush. Because I think Rush is at least as good as JYJ in TVT.
Nyoken, didn't Mind beat Rush in the last ASL season?
Did he?
I'm going to check that.
I was looking
I will
at
be surprised.
I was looking at the history earlier, and I think the only TVT I saw before the finals was him versus Ample, which he did win.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. I don't. No. The one he beat it was Zack, I believe. Oh no, wait. No, never mind. He never played Zack. He beat Sonterra, no? Maybe I'm bugging with that.
Yeah, the only game that I see on the list is him versus Ample. Rush played versus JYJ, and actually JYJ beat Rush.
Mm.
Well, regardless,
Oh,
this is still going to be a great matchup, but I do favor Rush a little bit here. One thing I would say that's going for Mind, in comparison to him playing versus JYJ last season, is when I think of Rush playing TVT, I would bet my life savings that this guy's going to go mass vultures. Like, that's just what he does. Whereas when you play versus JYJ, there's been games I've seen him go race. There's been games that he's gone tank Goliath. Like, there's all types of openers that he has.
yeah. I I think like this model like Terran versus Terran is so like focused on vultures early on. Uh, I mean, in the past it was the case as well, but I feel like now, like even in the late game, you could see like vultures just coming and like using mines and exploding tanks. That is something very common. So like split the map is not as easy as it was before because of the mobility of the vultures. And we are going into a break, guys. See you soon.
And we're back. We're going into our winners match momentarily. It is going to be Mind versus Rush. And this is going to be a pretty epic TVT. I'm wondering what maps they're going to veto. I think Tempest could be an interesting map if it gets through, because there's so many pathways, so many tiny pathways, that you can get punished really hard if you're ever out of position. So I actually hope we get to see that.
Yeah, I feel like Tempest, Invader. We're going to see for sure like the best TBT games, because like there is so much potential to make a comeback, so it can get like very crazy. We saw it against Ample against Sharp. That Sharp like the lead was insane, and then like Sharp actually like come with a drop and multitasking to the tier base of Ample and or the fourth base, I don't remember. Um, he made a crazy comeback. So I Polypoid, La Campanella, and Apocalypse.
Yeah, well, I guess we're not going to see Tempest Terran versus Terran, because the fact that both of them vetoed it probably signals that if we have TVT in the future, that it'll be continued to be vetoed. But we've got some good other maps. I like how we're starting off with the standard map Polypoid, and players are ready. So let's get into game one of our winners match. Okay, in the bottom left, our Terran, it is Mind. And in the bottom right, our pink Terran, it is Rush. I like how
And Polypoid, I can't believe we are seeing Polypoid. They are being like banning this map very often. But well, it makes sense because there are two Terrans like picking it.
Yeah, Terran's definitely like Polypoid. Easy third base, also third base is high ground, easy fourth base. I mean, this is kind of just the dream, really, type of map for Terran. When you look at match history, I think that said Season 5, Mind ended up winning 2-1. And we got some Mind fans in the crowd right there, hoping that he goes to the finals again, but so Rush fans too. You know, in the crowd, I missed it. Scan was there rooting for Rush, man. Did you see him?
No, I didn't.
Well, it wasn't in the crowd that we just saw a moment ago. It was before the game we just saw, Mind and Mini and Rush, I mean. But yeah, he's also there along with Steve Jung. So we do have Depot in the main. No crazy 8 racks anywhere.
When I was going to mention Nyoken, I saw a kid early on. I was like, wow, new generations are like discovering this game and actually coming to the studio to watch it. And now I saw this man. I'm like, wow, older generation also is like keeping up with the StarCraft.
Yeah. That is true. All generations love StarCraft. We do have a forward rack, which is interesting. I was not expecting to see that. And both sides have gone for it, followed up with gas from both sides. So neither player going for gasless. And most likely we're just going to have one fact into expansion unless somebody wants to get wild.
Remember one season of the ASL, like Flash did like the barrack he built it all in the mid, I think, or something like that, or around the zone of fighting spirit in the center. And actually last sent an SCV to scout that and deny the barrack Nyoken.
That's like a game-ending move if you can kill the racks or kill the SCV building the racks. But that's how Terran versus Terran was in the olden days. Like Marines, if you think about what unit is good versus a Marine in Terran versus Terran, the answer is like everything. SCV can beat a Marine. Like there's really not a use case for the Marine. So for the longest time, people would proxy their racks all the way across the map. But now with Terran players, you know, doing like 3 Marine pressure and stuff like that sometimes, you don't see that as often these days. But both players do deny the SCV. I guess Rush got in and confirmed the factory. I'm not sure if Mind did get up the ramp though.
Well, they are like doing like it's a very mirror build here. Like it's I didn't see the gas from Rush, but imagine we are seeing the same one SCV in the gas. I'm probably going to make expansion.
Yeah, really the only question you have now is how many vultures are either player going to build? Like, is somebody going to go straight add-on? Is somebody going to build 3 vultures or 2 vultures? That's really what we're waiting to see. Rush goes instantly into a Vulture even before Command Center. He also did build 2 Marines. Both sides built 2 Marines, so that's going to be able to deal a lot of DPS to the racks once it gets across the map. And yeah, everything is completely mirrored. Look at his supply, 23 out of 23. Just now, Rush going up a little bit higher.
Yeah, I feel like Thanos will watch this game and say, perfect balance.
Yep. And there's the Marines intercepting the racks. The Vulture timing's even the same. Ooh. Rush tried to bait out the first shot. And looking in Rush's
is that
lane.
a second factory for Rush? It is.
Yeah, it's going to be a second factory.
Mine, I don't see a second factory for mine.
There he goes.
There is now, okay.
Slightly later. And I imagine third factory is going to come down pretty soon for Rush, because that's just what he does. In Mine's main, I don't see another factory or third factory just yet, but I also don't see an armory anywhere. So I think the chances of there being a third factory is quite high. We do have the first mix-up of the game, which is there's 3 Vultures for Rush, and he sees the add-on, whereas Mine only has 2, and that's going to be the go switch for Rush. Oh, actually, there's the third Vulture popping out.
It's too risky to do this now, Nyoken.
4.
I mean, with Crazy Micro, 4 Vultures actually. Maybe he can abuse that.
Yeah, this is all it takes. Once you get 4 Vultures, also you 2-shot Vultures. So this is going to be a dangerous position. Here we go. We're going to have the engagement. First shot went off in favor of Mine. Both players really doing a good job to focus fire. However, the Marines have not taken any damage on Rush's side, so they got off a lot of damage. He's going to kill a couple of SCVs also. Overall, I think this is favorable for Rush, but he needs to get out with these Vultures, or at least trade.
You know, I mean, it was a really good trade, but all of a sudden, like, he loses all the Vultures. I'm not really sure anymore.
Yeah, I think that Mine's going to have to repair. He won't feel confident moving out just yet, but he does have 1 Vulture advantage, and you can see Rush only mining with 2 on gas, only 1 on gas for Mine, because remember, he lost a decent amount of SCVs that is natural, so he wants to catch up by only focusing on mineral income right now.
A barrack man, getting the information. He didn't scout the tier factory. Oh, he's doing it now. No?
First,
no, he didn't.
Yeah, I guess he just barely missed it, but first tank is out for Mine, and actually Rush is someone that does skip tanks for a long time. If he was to go right now, like he's doing, this could be a tough hold for Rush. He also went speed first, so there's no mines, but as I say that, I guess Rush actually was not skipping his tank at all. It is just slightly later, but here we go. I don't think this is going to work now, because the tank's faster than I expected.
The engage is coming.
First shot in favor of him. Can he actually knock down that tank? Killing the tank is such a huge deal, and he did! The tank has so much health, this game might be over. Dude, he's not killing the tank!
I think, yeah.
And he's building Marines. This... Okay.
This is like...
He doesn't have anything to drill on, so these SCVs are kind of just, you know, blocking the way, not really doing any damage, though. Oh my gosh, this is a ton of damage. Look at the supply just shoot up for Mine.
And he's not going to stop, he's going to keep rolling new units.
Yeah, and he built Vultures again. So there's no way that he can actually kill the tank. There it is, GG, just over in an instant. What? Man, that single first shot that Mine got off was a game changer, because there was... What the tank had like 40 health left over. If he even got off one more shot, if Rush got off one more shot, the tank would have been so low that he could have probably held that attack.
If I'm not mistaken, there was like Vulture advantage from Mine as well, no?
Yeah, I think maybe one Vulture in his favor, but there was rally point advantage for Rush, so I think the Vulture count should have been pretty darn close to even. It's just that single tank just soaks up so many hits, and also it does good DPS versus Vultures.
Good start for Mine here. I can already see him advancing from this group. It's looking sharp, by the way. TPT is not even his best matchup.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly where it went wrong for... Well, I guess, of course, I know it's just the tank shot, but I mean, like... should he have not gone speed? Should he have gotten mines? Like, would that have changed the outcome? I'm not sure, but regardless, mine is one game away from getting out in first place, and we are going on to a weird map, La Campanella.
Yeah, this one actually I can see like working better for Rush with the multitasking and the draw chip play you can pull on this map, especially to the natural. Um, so maybe like he can actually make a comeback if he doesn't die like he did in the last game to the one tank timing. This is a strategy I saw in the last season. JYJ against Rush was kind of similar to this.
Yeah, tank push is quite common. It's just kind of hard to determine like when do you build the tank, because there are players like 4GG who instantly get an add-on and get one tank, and then they might get a second tank, and then they go. And then there are players that even if they have an add-on, because they have 3 or 4 factories, they just build vultures forever, and they just stop tank pushes with mines. So unfortunately, Rush a little bit late there, but at least it's not out of it just yet. Time for game 2. See what he comes up with. And in the bottom right position, we have Mind, whereas at the top left, we've got Rush. Now, we really haven't seen mini games at all on this map, and we've only seen one, which I would say didn't really count for Terran versus Terran because of how fast it ended. So I'm not sure exactly if we're going to see vultures again, or if somebody has some type of, weird play, because when you have that back pathway at the natural, if somebody gets tanks behind your mineral line, you don't really have any way to engage that. Like, how are you going to actually kill it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite difficult to get your units there.
Yeah, like what I'm saying is we could see like somebody rush a starport and go instant drops, or, I would love to see this, somebody float a factory into the natural, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
These are the same position of Leta against Lita against Mon.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, and I'm sure both players know that, hey, bottom right can't be walled at the natural. We do have what looks like, again, going to be a forward barracks from Mind. Meanwhile, Rush, I guess it's as far forward as it possibly could have been without it actually being out on the center of the map.
Gas for Rush, gas for Mind. No one really doing like Barrack command center opening. I thought like in a big map like this could be interesting, but yeah, like you mentioned, like the natural is so dangerous that if you actually go like fast starport, that could be a problem.
Yeah, I think that's probably the likely reason, is it could just be too punishing, and like even if you hold it, maybe you just have to commit so much that the opposing player can recover with an expansion of their own. But we do have SCV coming out from Rush, somewhat at a normal timing, and Mine gonna go out also at a normal timing. Both players gonna find each other second, I assume. We do have Factory coming down in just a moment. Both players pulling off of gas, so it is gonna be an expansion follow-up.
Yeah, this has to be one of the most difficult maps to control in the late game. Like the mobility is so high, and yeah, I feel like if we go to the late game, we're going to have a lot of fun because the action is going to be everywhere.
Oh yeah, for sure. And yesterday we saw Marines even kill the extractor at one of the middle bases. So if anybody loses position over the center, one of their, semi-island bases are going to be under threat at all points in the game. We do have, 2 Marines for Mine this time? Only 1 for Rush. I guess that's going to allow him to expand slightly quicker, probably before even the depot goes down. So a little bit of a mix-up in terms of build order for him, but not like a massive deal. See, he wants to get in here, and he is going to sneak by and see exactly what's going on.
Yeah, pretty much the same build from the last game, I believe. Not really see anyone getting extra gas to make a starport or anything like that. So I mean, there is a big chance we're going to see that timing with the siege tank again.
Yep. Okay, that was nice. Remind, he picks off the SCV before it can confirm that it is an add-on. That means that... Okay, well, there we go. There's the starport. So we might actually have some drops. Both players going for a starport. That's not something that you see that often.
Yeah, when you get these like same mirror builds, then you are going to see like one player fighting like with Grace, and it can get tricky. Like if you actually make a micro mistake with the Grace, then the other player get the advantage and keep building, and yeah, eventually you get the advantage like that. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, if somebody knows that you're going Wraith and the opposing player doesn't know that you're also going Wraith, they can easily overstep and get their Wraith caught, and then the game's, you know, not over, but you're in big time trouble. So both players are going to have to be very careful, because I don't think either player has confirmed it just yet. But I am already a big fan of La Campanella, because you never see Wraith openers from both sides. So already this is a thumbs up for me, because even though Vulture play is strong, you know, it does get kind of old to see all the time. And we do have first tank out for both sides. Both players ended up not getting an add-on, so it is going to be Wraith, not going to be drops, at least just yet. And actually Rush does show his Wraith.
Yeah, they are both like killing the barrack, and he's going to show it as well. He wanna kill this barrack, so you know, like that is going to slow down a bit the production from the players.
You know, as somebody myself that plays Wraith every time, there are different variations you can do with it. You can continue to build Wraith, you can, you know, stop building Wraith and start flooding factories, or you can get Cloak if you want. And it seems like, if I'm reading this correctly, I think Rush ended up just building a barracks instantly. Oh, he went 2 starports. Okay, so he's just gonna overrun with Wraith.
Yeah, but mine, he's making armory as well. He's making more factories, so that he need to be careful, because like Grace can be like really good with the mobility, but against Goliath, they die so quick.
Oh yeah, Goliaths are just a massive hard counter to Wraith, but if it can come quick enough, and if it can come at a point in time where Rush or where Mind has used up all his scans, even though Wraiths don't have the highest DPS versus ground in the game, if you can get 4 of them, they can really start racking up a lot of SCV kills.
By the way, I feel like mine, like he actually stopped making Grace. I feel like he's not really confident in doing it, or maybe he just wanna do like fast dropship.
Yeah, this does look like he wants to do fast dropship. Remember, he already has a lot of tanks built, so if he builds 1 dropship and sends tanks across the map, he can drop the Goliaths first, then elevator into the back, also the tanks, and then all of a sudden you've got a scenario where it's Wraith versus Goliaths behind the mineral line with nothing to support them, so that could be kind of rough. The race got spotted by Vultures. I think that this is already a really good position for Mine, because now he knows exactly what's going on. You can see he instantly starts spinning that range upgrade on his Goliaths now.
But there is Cloak for the Grace.
Yeah, Cloak is going to be a little bit annoying, and there's the 4 race that I was talking about, but he should have 2 Goliaths in the main and 2 Goliaths at the natural pretty soon.
Yeah, he has a scan. The thing is, like, he doesn't really want to waste the scan.
Yeah, exactly. Look at this. He builds a Valkyrie, but it gets instantly killed, and he doesn't kill a single Wraith. Though that is such an expensive unit. Like, Valkyrie is almost command center level of mineral, so that's a big loss for him.
Oh,
but
these are starting very well for Mine.
These are low race too, and race aren't exactly the cheapest either. And wow, he still gets out with all of them.
Yeah, don't try this at home, because usually they don't survive.
Yeah, they definitely don't. He built another Valkyrie. That's a huge mineral commitment. Tank count is similar for both sides. I think it was 3 for Mine, 4 for Rush. And with the mine setup, I guess Mind is looking to try and set up a contain, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do that.
Rush with the tier expansion, but the way Mind is moving, I feel like he's trying to attack here.
Yeah,
Not really like setting a contain.
Yeah, he wants to deny the third base, but Rush is already in position. This can't be denied anymore. I think he's just going to have to accept that he try and pick off these tanks with some vision, or set up a defensive position like this.
It's very, very far from his army, but at least he has Valkyries, so even with a big group of Greys, he's not really in danger as long as he spotted the clock. And tier base for mine, so Nyoken, the game continues, and like I mentioned early on, like this map is very hard to control.
Yeah, I think we're going to be in for a long game here. You got to remember that the Rays do have cloak, and there could be moments where Mind is not paying attention, and Rush may use that vision and cloak advantage to try and pop some isolated tanks. So that's why you see Mind unsieging and repositioning elsewhere, because he doesn't know when it's going to happen. We do have, I think, 4 or 5 factories for Rush. I think also 4 factories for Mind. So similar production capabilities for both sides.
By the way, he only made 4 Greys, Nyoken, from 2 starports. I think actually he stopped it, making more Greys.
Yeah, now that he knows that it's Goliaths and Valkyries are already out in the field, you don't want to overcommit here, because is there really a difference between something like 4 race and 8 race? Probably not, because Valkyries just kill everything.
He's still making Valkyries, Nyoken.
Dude, look at this.
That actually could be bad for him.
Look at this split. Am I really watching 4 rays kill 3 Valkyries? Holy cow. 3 rays for 3 Valkyries. That's one of the best trades I've ever seen.
But the Greys are gone now. So if actually like Rush committed to making 2 starports, like we're going to see like probably like mass dropships from him.
Yeah, that's another threat of having the double starport. You can just build 4 dropships instantly if you really want to go for the Doom drop 8 dropships. Man, both players are really feeling confident in their position, because both players are going to take a 4th base. Rush already has his 4th base going, and Mind's about to build up his own. And there's the drops that we were talking about, but Rush has got the advantage. Like, he's already out on the map, and he's going to shut down bottom middle.
Yeah, Rush is taking a 4th expansion as well. And Mind army is so far from his base that these 3 dropships can be like catastrophic for him. He even missed the dropships.
He missed it, and he doesn't even necessarily have to drop on the bottom middle low ground base. He can just drop behind them at the natural. Oh my gosh, and these depots do not help him engage at all.
Well, that was a quick reaction saving the SCVs, but you know what? Mind doing here his own drop and killing SCVs as well.
Yeah, but this is going to get shut down real quick, whereas this drop is not going to get shut down for a long time. Mine's being set up. 3 tanks there. I don't know how you engage this. Like, the vultures are going to bleed off. Okay. Oh, actually, there's even more tanks than I thought. 4 tanks there. None of the mines connect. I think Rush got... Okay, he didn't get off the first shot on that tank, but it doesn't matter because he's shutting down the minerals, so he doesn't necessarily need to push any farther. And at the same time, look at this. Look at the lack of units out in the center of the map. Rush is going to push because he knows there's nothing here. And if he can get to the rally point, there's no way to break out.
Yeah, he loses all the position, Nyoken. Like, Rush taking control of the map like this and pushing forward now. This, like, setting Mine in a position that, like, he's going to be stuck.
Yeah, and he's loading up a massive drop again at the center of the map. I can see all the units clumping up together. This may be something like 5 or 6 drop ships. Oh, maybe it's not. Maybe he's not loading up. They're just all there for some reason.
This is a good one, Nyoken. Like,
yep.
This drop actually is a good one by Mine.
Yeah, but there's still some race left over. We do have a drop into position, so he's going to clear that. Somehow there are 4 tanks on the right side, but I don't think this is enough to stop a push. However, Mind is reinforcing quickly, but there's no anti-air. He's going to pop both of the drop ships,
Oh my god, Rush is playing such a good game here. Like he's remaking 2 grays now and sniping the draw chips. Look at this, he is killing all the draw chips.
Yeah, that's massive, especially when mine's only on 1 starport. It's gonna take him such a long time to rebuild those drops. We have Rush loading up another drop. I only see 2 drop ships this time as opposed to the 3. Not sure exactly what happened to the other drops, but he's continuing to build more race. So it's going to be drop ships and race, and look at his army. It's just huge. He may just carpet bomb this army. Nope, he's just going to try and bust without even the drop ships.
He's going to clean these lines. I don't think mine can defend this. Too many tanks.
Yeah, too many tanks. I see +1 on mine's side for upgrades. Not sure exactly if Rush has +2 weapon at all either, but
okay.
Drop there. Okay, 2 tanks and vultures. Yeah, he's just blasting mine at this point.
Not only that, do you see 4 expansion from mine? Since there is no map control for him, Rush can actually put tanks and deny that.
Yeah, if he sits on the left side, he could easily cut off the other mains or the top right side if he wants. Oh, we've got race coming in, and there is no anti-air at all, and this is enough race where they can start killing tanks pretty quickly. There goes one of them.
Just stop, man. You already won. Come on. Give the guy a break. Come on.
Well, this is just surgical right here. This is one of those games where you just know you just got outplayed hardcore, and Rush he is strangling mine at this point. Supplies are still surprisingly close, but I think that the economic damage is just heavily in favor of Rush right now. Why is there a tank still here? Oh my god.
I mean, it's going to stay for longer.
Well, this could get a little bit dicey because Rush is just pushing with almost pure tank. And if any of these mines connect, well, they don't, but they could have blown up quite a few of those tanks. This tank is so annoying. Wow, he just taps out. He realizes it is over, and that means we've got a tied series.
Yeah, really good game by Rush, by the way. I really enjoyed that one. Like the Grace play, it was so good. The drop play was also key. And the way he break the lines from mine, it was also really it was really good. I have to say mine didn't have too much, to be fair to him. He did what he could. But yeah, I mean, great play by Rush.
Yeah, it was really well done. And as I stated, just seeing the builds from the opener, I knew that, or I know that I'm going to like La Campanella going forward because you can just see all the different styles that this map can bring out. Like, we had Valkyries, we had Goliath. Both players had different responses to each other opening Wraith. But we are going to be going into Apocalypse as our third map, and since this map is similar to Ascension, and I remember there being a lot of Vulture openers, I think we're probably just going to go back to the classic mass Vulture play that players just know and love these days.
By the way, I'm going to ask you a question. Why do you think mine tried to set up Valkyrie so early in the game? He actually made a starter for himself, but he tried to make Valkyries so early. I feel that was a bit of a slowdown to his overall build order.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think he's also a little bit surprised that Rush engaged on the Valkyries, because if it was me, for example, and I see Goliath plus Valkyrie, Valkyries have a lot of health, and Goliaths do a lot of damage also. I probably would have just ran. So I think what he was thinking, okay, I can build one Valkyrie, and you'll just stop building the Wraith, and you'll run away. But that just didn't happen. But really, I'm not sure exactly, because those are very expensive units, and they do slow down your build, like you were saying. So we are into our final game of our winners match. We've got mine in the mid left and Rush at bottom right.
I enjoy playing this map a lot on ladder. It just feels so natural to, I have to be honest, every map on ladder right now, it just feels that you can get in and play the maps, and that is a great experience to me. Apart from La Campanella, I'm not really playing that map, but the others, it just get in, you play, you have fun. That's what's supposed to be StarCraft to me.
Yeah, and you get to play the strategies that you see in ASL, unlike previous ladders where you see a cool strat. Like for example, we saw, some cool builds from Shaun on Odyssey. If you remember that single lurker push through on Odyssey, but that was never in the map pool for the ladder, so you could never try and experiment with something like that. So I am happy that we do get ASL maps.
Wow, he's coming from Mexico, man. That's insane.
Yeah, that's quite the distance.
Yeah, for sure. Like props to him for making that. That is like a 36 fly, no, like travel time. It's insane.
It's quite far. I think it's something. I guess it depends what direction you go, but I think it's only like 12 or so, because for me it was about 14 and a half hours coming from the US. Could be wrong though, but we do have racks in the main for Rush. Again, no gasless play, whereas Mind, this is 14cc? It looks like he wants to confirm there's no center racks, and he's going to follow up with a 14cc.
I mean, it's welcome. Honestly, I'm glad he's like changing it. I don't really understand why people don't try like builds like this more often. I don't know if it's too greedy or what, coming from a server perspective. But I really like the power of eco that give you command center first. It's really like cool.
Yeah, I actually don't know what the best counter to this is, because when I play versus this, as soon as I see it's 14 command center, regardless of whatever build I did, I'm tilted. Like, it's just so hard to punish. And then when I try and play it myself, I get killed by everything. So I don't know. But Rush, I would say he's going to be not happy with his opener, because what's he going to do? He's not mining gas. He can't all in this anymore. He's just going to have to expand himself, but he's going to be down 5 workers because of that.
I have seen people doing like a siege tank rush into a starport. I saw that many times from last. But yeah, if you scout this too late like he's doing now, very hard to make a reaction, in my opinion.
Yep, there he goes. And we do have the command center completing. Rush is going to at least be able to skip Vulture and go straight add-on. There he goes.
Yeah, so many SCVs from mine. It's going to be this huge thing. And like with Rush, do you say that he's going to be unhappy with this?
Oh yeah, you're not happy seeing this. Never. Like, I don't think... it's really hard to get pressure, like actually deal damage. Like, yes, you can, set up a tank and pressure the bunker, but can you actually do real damage? It's really hard. But I'm looking at this map, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, he doesn't necessarily have to kill the command center. If he set up like a tank contain on the high ground, that could be annoying for mine to deal with, but we see him going Vulture, and I'm not sure exactly what this is for. Is it mines? Is it going to be like a speed run by?
Knowing Rush, seeing his nickname, could be very well like Vulture run by with the speed.
Well, if it is going to be Vulture run by with speed, you better be very confident that this guy's not going to wall, because if you get speed and you just run in there and don't do anything, you're, like I said, you're just down 5 workers and you didn't accomplish anything. Like, you didn't set up map control with mines, you didn't get tanks, and the SCV came in. Oh, there he goes, he runs in! Why is that Rax out of position? These Marines are gonna die, and the dream scenario is happening for Rush right now, because now he's gonna be even or higher in workers.
Yeah, this is a lot of damage already, but I feel like it's not really enough. Like, he needs to do a little bit more. But yeah, it's a great start.
This is definitely enough. Look at that single Vulture, 7 kills. The other one has 3 kills, and we know 2 of the kills are from Marine. So this is something like 9 to 10 worker kills, and mine pulled his entire SCV line. So he is in big time trouble.
But he's been making SCVs from 2CCs for a long time. And that speed voucher, it actually costs Rush, like, and now mine has going to have like more vouchers as well. So yeah, I don't know, like look at mine, like I feel like he's going to even like take a tier expansion.
I don't know. We'll see. He's got Starport coming, so I think he's gonna try and go for a drop. But in Rush's main, I saw an armory, so he's gonna try and get out tanks and Goliaths, which are obviously great versus vultures, and make sure he doesn't get overrun by the vultures that Mind has. Here comes Mind out in the map now with speed, but there's just not enough to overwhelm tank vulture Goliath at this point.
Yeah. Now Goliaths now they really changed the game. Like these many vultures, like there are many Nyoken, but I don't really think he can like do a boss here.
Yeah, there's no way. I think the best thing that Mine can do is pray that his drop gets in and does damage. Supply is somehow even, but it's a little misleading because obviously there's a massive vulture advantage in favor of Mine, whereas Rush's units are way more powerful. The tanks and Goliaths, you obviously prefer to have them. I also see 4-fact for Rush. So he's going to have more production overall. I'd like to see him get a second add-on so he can really start ramping up that tank count.
Yeah. Rush going out like this, I'm not really sure, bro. Like, it's too dangerous.
Yeah, he does need to be careful about running into mines, but for now, he's not been punished. He is going to kill that barracks, I think. There still hasn't been a drop from mine just yet. A drop right now would have been great, because you know that the units are all out of position.
Yeah, he's going to drop apparently 1 tank and 2 vultures.
I think it's just going to be vultures. Tanks, you really got to have critical mass tanks for them to be effective, but look at this. Even though he has no idea that a drop coming, this is the perfect time to move out for Rush, and he clears all the mines.
If that drop get in the main now, wow. Do you think like this army can kill mine?
Yeah,
because like he's going to get damage now in the main.
Yeah, he's gonna, well, okay, vultures come back in the nick of time, but I think what's gonna happen here is Rush is just gonna set up a massive contain, and mine's just gonna struggle to get out. But we've got vultures into the natural also, racking up some kills.
This is like good damage here, yeah. Man. It's using good eco.
Well, there's only 1 tank. Okay. And siege advantage? Did Rush overstay here? Wow, goodbye tank. Okay, that drop was actually really good. It did decent damage and allowed him to catch a tank, and he didn't lose control of his high ground, so Mind is really doing a good job to come back in this game.
Yeah, what about the expansions now? Okay, like, where do you think actually Mind is going to spend here? Because it seems to me like Rush, for some reason, he has like control over that zone.
Yeah, we've got Mind taking bottom middle, but as far as taking bottom right, I don't know if either player will want to do that, because you're going to have to put a lot of defense there for both sides. One, for Rush to not get dropped in his main, and also for Mind to not just, instantly get counter dropped there. So more than likely, I'm expecting him to start expanding towards the left side. But Rush is out on the map again, like he wants to do another attack, but I don't think his army is strong enough to do that. Okay, there we go. He's just going to try and split the map now.
Yeah, but his expansion is a bit late compared to my expansion. The advantage here is like army-wise, there is 4 factories producing, and mine he's building a barrack right now because like apparently he loses it, and yeah, he needs that to make more factories.
Yep, we've got mine just chilling on the high ground. I like Rush's position a little bit better though. He's more far forward on the map. I don't think he can get busted anywhere, but he's also, because of his positioning, he can start trying to take top middle. And just as I said, bottom right, that's going to be a hard base for both players to take, and you can see Rush already anticipating that there could be drops, so he's already got tanks set up over there.
Yeah. If this actually goes to a game of multitasking and control, I think I'm going double starport by Rush. Interesting.
Yeah, interesting position to place it also. I don't think that this is ever going to get scammed. So this could really catch Mind off guard, because if we look at what Mind's comp is right now, I don't think I've seen a single Goliath. So if he can even get 4 wraiths or 6 wraiths,
Oh no.
they can really start racking up
seeing
kills.
the drop chips.
Yep, double drop gets spotted. Hopefully both of you get intercepted in the center of the map. Mind is going to try and start securing his left side.
That tier expansion now for Rush is transferring workers. So like the expansion for Rush, the 4th expansion is like more easy in my opinion to take.
Yeah.
So I feel like mine is right now like battling this imbalanced position of the map.
Well, this drop, even though it's going to get shut down, may critically find these starports. Okay, well, he can't sit here. Yeah, he's got to do something with him. Okay, he spots one of the starports at least. And it looks like he will get away.
Yeah, but I mean, they are going to be dead. Nyoken Rush again with 2 grays, killing all the draw chips.
Yeah, and there's a random mine there that almost kills both the tanks. So that was a disaster for mine. At least it was only 2 tanks and a couple ultras, so it wasn't like the end of the world. It's not like he's out of it just yet. And surprisingly, Mind is going to take bottom right. And he has wraiths of himself, which I didn't even realize. Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah. Yeah, he was like a bit sloppy there, like defending his grace. He even had Goliath to do that. But there is so much going on. But I'm going to say I really favor Rush position, like in the map, like, and like the control. You can see already that it's like he's like almost like covering the whole map.
Yeah, that's the problem with 3-player maps, is if somebody does have map advantage, they're just going to split the map in their favor. Like, if Mine gets all of the bottom, right, that's 4 bases. And let's say he gets mid-left, one of mid-left. You know, that's 5 bases, whereas Rush, you're probably going to get the other main, probably going to get the natural
the main is exposed now, Nyoken.
Yeah, but there's so many ultras and tanks coming in. Okay. Yeah, this was an overextension. He's going to lose a lot of tanks here. But is there a lack of anti-air? I almost see 1 Goliath in the center. Oh no,
yeah.
There's 4 wraiths there.
Mine being annoying right now with the grace. Oh wow, he's not even like... He loses 1 tank for free. But you know what? 4 expansion for Rush, 4 expansion for Mine. If Rush really wanted, he can drop that easily and shut down that base.
Yeah, look at this. Mine is actually racking up a lot of tank and Goliath kills. But here come the Wraith. Oh no, they're gonna get caught. There goes 1 of them, 2 of them. Oh, he does manage to save 3 of them, so that's well done from him. Supplies are very close, 165 to 165, but now with the double starport add-on for Rush, I think he's going to be the one to start going into dropships. And if we look at bottom right, there's no defense there for Mine. So I think that's the angle of attack that Rush is looking to exploit.
Yeah, he's super exposed. Like, if he really wanted, like, he can drop that and shut down the base for sure.
Okay, we have a massive bust.
That's a massive army by Mine. Apparently, he wants to force his way into taking the left side.
Oh, but the siege is in favor of Rush, way in favor of Rush. The tank count is obviously in favor of Mine, but... Okay, actually that went way better for Mine than I thought. Look at Rush's supply, it just shot down very far.
Yeah, but he has like grace now to take these tanks. I don't see any air defense.
Yeah, there's still very little anti-air. Oh man, he's trying to get in there, but the tank spread is pretty nice for Mine. He's trading really effectively too. Rush only has +1 weapon. You can see +1 armor kicked in for Mine. That means his +2 should be coming in pretty soon. But like you said, there's no anti-air. The wraiths come in, and now he should be able to push back this tank line. Or not.
Valkyries.
Good scan from Rush to be able to take minimal damage.
Yeah, yeah. Draw chips now are coming, so that is probably going to be the key to this game. Like, if he actually takes like that bottom base from mine, he can, if he can deny that, like he can like already like slow down mine so much. But we will see what happens with that.
Yeah, I'm sure the drops are gonna show up in just a moment. He takes down the racks, which is not a huge deal, but it does eliminate a little bit of division. That tank count is extremely high, but also extremely isolated. Oh my gosh, Rush, he's moving forward. I was not expecting him to move here, but there he goes. He's attacking into high ground. Is this enough to get through? I don't think so. He's gonna lose his race too. Well, that was an expensive trade for Rush, but it does at least draw the attention there. If he does drop bottom right now, I think that could be the move. But Mind is already on 5 bases, man. How has he recovered this well?
You know what? The Rush doesn't have that many units. Like, if you actually lose this drop, like, he's going to be super exposed.
Oh yeah, if he loses this drop, that would be catastrophic for him. But he's loading up, and he's gonna try and take down mid-left.
Maybe to the main?
Oh, he's getting intercepted by Wraiths. Oh, he intercepts.
At least he didn't lose the draw chips. You know what? He's still trying to do it, Nyoken, and he's being exposed by mines. I think the draw chips are dead.
Well, Valkyrie's... Oh my gosh, he went way too far forward, and he is going to lose some of these drop ships. He's going to lose 3 drop ships. Wow, that's a big loss. But it did draw the attention over there, and he is going to counterattack bottom right at the same time.
I don't even know how he got there, like, and he's so exposed this base, by the way. I thought there was army here.
Yeah, I thought there were tanks on the high ground, but I guess not, and he's going to even up the expansion count. However, Mind has drop ships himself, and I'm not sure if these were actually scanned. That's 7 drop ships. That's enough drop ships to end the game. If he can go all the way down to the bottom, hook into the main, this could be an unstoppable drop.
I feel like...
Dude,
I feel like there is defense in the main, like turrets, mines, and siege tanks.
Well, I saw that, yeah, on the edge, but there's not that many turrets. If he, right there, at the top right corner of those factories, that's where he needs to drop. If he gets in there, he could shut down all of the production. Okay, actually, good scan. Somehow Rush figured this out, and now he is in position, and Mine's going to be obligated to just drop on top of these units and retake this base.
Look. Mine actually, he took one more expansion, Nyoken. So Rush is like, he need to do something about that. Like, he either expand or like finish the game.
Unfortunately for Mind here, he's got a lot of tanks, but they're split up. Oh man, this is just so many tanks for Rush, and Rush now really turning it on. Mid-left could be, oh god, there's just so many dropships here, but I don't think there's enough to bust through this. Wow, the mines are really spread nicely.
Oh my god.
Okay. Oh, this tank's at the top. Ah.
Nyoken, this dropship fail, Nyoken.
Yeah, it
And
failed.
also was a big commitment. He's losing he's losing the bases as well. That is 5 feet expansion, so
Yeah, it was a good attempt from Mine, but unfortunately it seemed like those tanks just popped out at the right time, and now, okay, maybe I'm wrong here. He's getting into the sweet spot. But you gotta remember, Rush has that double starport. If he has Race, you know, he could potentially take down these tanks. Wow, he's lost so many dropships. And I guess we forgot about this. Like, you're dropping my main, but hey, I can drop your main too.
not only that, he doesn't even have that many units to defend anymore.
Yeah. Well, this is a wild game. Both players refusing to let up on these drops. But unfortunately, Rush's drops are on top of the factories, whereas Mine's aren't really. They're just kind of near the depots. Endless drops. So many tanks.
I mean, that has to be Nyoken.
Yeah, it's gotta be it. I just don't see how you recover from this. Mine is... He's on 2 bases, and Rush is on 2 bases also, but obviously Rush, he can actually build stuff. Like, mine can't build anything that actually gets out and survives.
Yeah, he's floating the factories.
And the drop got cleaned up. He still has D-Matrix available on his vessel also. There it is, GG. Well done from Rush. A really good game to end on. Very back and forth. There were moments where I thought Rush had it. There were moments I thought, wow, mine's making a big comeback. But in the end, the drops by Rush were just too punishing.
And
he's out of there.
I'm happy for Rush, man. That was really good. You know, it always amazed me that these draw chip plays, they can be so dangerous, but when do you actually like defend that and clean it so easy? It's just like, it's amazing to watch, and he did that in that game. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it's really hard to clean up drops sometimes. Like, if they can get into a good position, like what I was saying around the factories at top right, where he could be right on top of the factories and also intercept units coming back from the center of the map. I mean, that's where you want to be, because you're just never breaking it. SCVs would also have been blocked by factories, but he was never able to get there. So it happens, but I just don't know how mine came back, because he lost a lot in the beginning to those 2 vultures. They did way too much damage. We're going to look at the final attack of the game, really. Both players slugging it out, dropping the main while also killing, or while also losing the mid-left base. These mines were really set up in fantastic spots. And also the turrets, even though they weren't... Oh, there was one at the bottom side. I was wondering how he lost so many drop ships.
Yeah. Even the depot position, like, he made it in a way that it's like difficult to drop and easy to put mines, and all of that is like very calculated. So he put really like a good defense to this draw chip play.
Yep, you know, building placement really does matter versus something like drops and recall. If you can have places where Terran or Protoss can't land their units, you know, all of a sudden drops aren't that strong. So it was really nicely done. And yeah, Russia's going to be moving on. So we've got now 2 Terrans into the round of 16, 1 Zerg. I still think mine played extremely well, and I think he's going to be a huge threat in the Deciders match, whoever he faces off against, whether it's Mini or Killer.
Yeah. I feel it's going to be difficult to beat Mini, but I feel like mine's playing well. Like, to be honest, if this draw chip play just like... If Rush didn't defend like this, I feel like that was it. That was it for him.
Yeah, it very well could have been. I think we would have been in a base trade scenario where both players lose their factories, and then it could have gotten really wild. Especially since those 2 starports at least were for Rush at the natural, where he could at least produce rays from there. But yeah, it would have been crazy. So Killer versus Mini is our next matchup. You have any thoughts on that?
I mean, Hyderabad for the win.
Okay.
I like beating Mini is going to be hard for Killer. He's really going to need to bring like I mean, Super Saiyan performance or something like that. Right? Like, how do you actually beat Mini? This guy beat like Queen in his prime. Like, how do you actually beat Mini?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think he's gonna have to have another scenario where he catches Mini out of position like he did versus Snow, and then, you know, Mini's gonna have to panic and Killer just try and engage and bust him, or go for like a 2-hatch bust like I think he did on Tempest. Because if you're gonna try and out multitask Mini, I just don't think that's a favorable scenario for you.
Yeah. I ask myself if Mini is going to, you know, to pick a map like La Campanella or something like that. Like, I feel like the map favoring like the shuttle play.
Yeah, that map that that game we saw of Effort versus Free on there, it really did look like it could be a good Protoss map. Like, every base is pretty close. Every base has gas. Free was trading pretty darn well. Problem was he could just never get the other main. So I agree. I think that La Campanella could be a good map, especially for someone like Mini who loves the shuttles.
Yeah, like I remember Killer did a Muta play against Snow with the mass Hydras. Uh, Maybe a move like that can be really strong as long as the mini is not prepared for that. That is an option. But yeah, it will depend on the map really. What map are we going to see? And I mean the kind of performance that Mini can bring. Because I think, like honestly, like if Mini play his best, Killer has no chance. Even if Killer is playing his best.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough for Killer. I actually hope that Invader gets in because, Mini looked like he was in a good position. Can't remember the Zerg. Was it Soma in the round of
Soma, yeah.
24? Yeah.
Somas.
Like, he looked like he was in a good position, but then then Mini just overstepped his bounds, being on the low ground, taking bad trades. I hope Invader gets in, because I think if Invader does get in, I think Killer's got a good shot versus Mini, where, Mini could make a mistake going into the low ground, and then he could get punished, whether he gets surrounded again or just an instant counterattack. So I'm hoping somehow that makes it through, but I have a feeling Mini will probably veto it.
Hmm. Do you think Mini is going to veto Invader?
Well, I don't know. It's just the one map where Mini didn't look his strongest, I guess is what I'm saying.
Okay.
But we only saw one game, so I could be completely wrong. And with it is a two-player map, right? And the rush distance doesn't look that far, so it could be a map that's good for Mini, because if he just gets to your base ASAP with zealots and you're caught off guard, he's great at that. So maybe you want to avoid Invader. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I feel like it's a good Protoss map. Like, if he gets to three bases, four bases, like I don't know if you know this, but even the bottom the expansions that are like in the lower ground of the ramp, they have less minerals.
Oh, they do? Okay.
Yeah, run out very fast of like resources. So, like Protoss can actually exploit that.
All right. I didn't know that. That's another interesting concept of this map, I guess. So that makes it even more important to get the top right corner.
Yeah, but as a Protoss, I feel like the expansion is a bit hard to take.
Well, I can't hear exactly what Rush is saying, but I heard him mention light like 3 times there, so I'm curious what he's talking about.
Maybe light giving the secrets.
There's Scan, by the way. The first time I saw him on the camera, I didn't recognize him because I think that's the first time I saw him without glasses.
Hey, Scan was with the hat.
Yeah, he was the one in the hat.
Okay, I never seen a Scan with a hat.
Yeah, he messaged me on Discord. He's like, I'm sitting in the Rush crew, so I guess he helped Rush practice for his matchup versus mine. So I'm sure he's happy that Rush made it out.
Isn't Scan part of the YB team?
I don't know, man. They change teams and tags and schools so often that I'm not sure exactly. I'm not even sure exactly what YB stands for. Is that another school team?
It has to be. I see Rush sometimes like teaching these low skill players.
Okay, I guess the university type of education is still going on. I thought that was over with, but I guess I'm wrong. Regardless, we're going to be going into a break, and we'll be back with our losers match, which is going to be Mini versus Killer. And we are just about to get into our losers match. It is Mini versus Killer. Again, it's going to be best of 3, so we're going to have some vetoes. Curious to see what maps they are going to veto.
Yeah, the maps is really what is going to matter the most here. How good the maps are going to be for Mini or Killer.
Are you surprised that we really haven't seen many Dark Origin games so far? Or just because it was in there last season, I figured, and it came back this season, I figured that people would probably like this map, but we really haven't seen any games on there.
That is true. I didn't think about that, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. Last season also Dark Origin didn't have that many games, and to me, I felt like Dark Origin was a pretty good map, but it seems like players have other ideas of it. Like yesterday really delivered. The Effort versus JYJ game was great. I hope we get to see it this time. But Mini did lose, I think, to a Hydra Bust on that map. Alright, here we go. What are the vetoes? Let's see. Wow. You know, I was saying I wanted to see Invader, and then Killer vetoes it. And then you were saying you want to see La Campanella. And Mini vetoes it. In the one map we didn't want, Tempest, it's the third map.
That is interesting. Polypoid is back.
It's back. Has Polypoid ever left, man? Like, it's just always there. So let's get into game 1. It is going to be on Apocalypse. Okay, in the bottom left position, everybody knows that, man. It's Mini. Meanwhile, in the bottom right, it is Killer. Oh. Every time I get baited by that moment, because you see the 3 larvae and they're not being used, and I'm like, it's a 5 pool, and then it just never is.
Do you remember when Hahn did a 5 pool against, I think it was Sharp on that origin?
Oh yeah, that's true. It's an uncommon build versus Terran, but versus Protoss, it used to be actually a pretty solid build. I don't know about it being solid these days, but in the past, it was pretty darn strong.
Yeah, there was a player called Hiva that used to do always like 5 pull against Protoss.
That guy says that he's on vacation, it's his last day, and what a way to celebrate your last day, checking out some Broodwar games.
Indeed. And Nyoken, 1 gate expansion here for Mini.
Yeah. You know, we had seen a lot of Forged openers. It's nice to see gateway pressure this time.
Most likely 11 hatchery for Killer.
Okay. And Mini is going to get in there and scout them first, but not going to be in time to deny that hatchery. Now, what do you think?
So I asked myself if Mini is going to be aggressive against this or he's going to main Nexus.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. How many Zealots do you think Mini's going to build here? Sounds like there's not really a set answer in stone. We do have the pool coming down. Drone got off a lot of damage, so that probe could die if Killer has some stellar drone micro, which he does, by the way. And if he loses this probe, that would be terrible.
Yeah, but Mini with that control of like Han Solo, you know, like piloting the Millennium Falcon, he's not gonna lose it, Nyoken. I promise to you, Protoss never lose worker.
Oh, they don't? Okay, well, this is a good mind game. Look at the reaction from Killer. Instantly pulls a lot of drones here. Now, that opening, I think, is big enough for actually a battery. I don't think he's going to do that. I just do want to say that it does look big enough where it could be something weird like that.
It's a fake one.
It's a fake.
The Killer is not going to be happy with that drone pull, man.
Yeah, I would not be happy at all. That's a lot of lost mining time. Of course, Mini did commit a lot of minerals to do that. But, oh did he build a drone? Are you serious? He saw the Zealot. Wow, this could already be just devastating damage. There goes one Ling. Okay, at least he knocks down the probe. That's great. But there's a second Zealot in the natural. Oh my gosh.
I feel like it's already too behind.
Yeah, and this was a 2 Zealot expand. This was not like 3 or 4 Zealots late Nexus. Like the Nexus is already halfway done.
So when something like this happens, 100% we're going Hydra.
Well, I feel like the problem with that is Mini's gonna know that that's gonna be your answer, and you'll just build cannons and be fine. I guess that Zealot didn't do that much damage, but yeah, Killer, wow, that hatchery just started. I thought it was already like almost done by now. So he is.
It's not even getting gas.
Yeah, this is just nightmare scenario. There's already 3 Zealots out. They're already in a good position. I think that's a probe out in the center of the map. I don't think that's another Zealot.
Yeah, he's moving too fast. It's a worker.
Well, if he's gonna go for Hydrogen, he's got the 50 gas right now. There it goes. So you're right, it is gonna be a bust. I agree, I think this is the only thing you can go for, but I feel like Mini's been in enough games where he's done damage like this. He knows that this is the only move you can go for.
Not only that, he can allow himself to put pressure with silos. So, I mean, even the worker got in the main, that's it. I don't even know, like, we need to pray for the third player now to win with Hydras.
Oh, I was gonna pray to him, pray that the Hydrogen was not far enough along to complete, that he could maybe cancel it after the probe dies, but he's not even able to do that. So now it's just an obvious 3-hatch Hydra bust, and at the same time there's already 4 Zealots here, so he can't even go into Hydra side. He's got to build all these Lings just to not die.
Mini need to be careful. He doesn't really want to lose the silos for free.
Well, this is 4 Zealots plus a probe, and they trade very well. Those Zealots still have half health. 3 of them. Another Zealot walks into the main. He's gonna win this Ling fight. Oh my. He won the Ling fight easily.
I feel like we're about to see a GG here, like 4 silos attacking your tier, 1 silot in the main, and you still didn't even produce. Well, Hydras are coming now, yeah. But
I think because it's a tournament, because it's ASL, he's not going to tap out immediately, but I agree, this is going to be like a 1 attack and done, because there's no hope of...
Is he in that hatchery? No.
The Zealot, of course, being perfectly microed with the back of the minerals.
So now we know it's like 100% all in.
Yeah.
We need to see at least, 7 cannons or 8 cannons. There is no transition from this.
Yeah. It's funny because if Killer was to go right now and he had more Lings with this army, there's only 1 cannon that's complete.
Well, but Killer making a 4 hatchery Nyoken, so maybe not everything is loose. But yeah, he's even using an Overlord here apparently.
Yeah, that Overlord should die. Maybe not, he does save it for now.
Yeah, he will be back later.
If we look at Mini's main, he was cutting probes. I think he's got about 10 to 12 supply and Zealots. So his worker count, his worker count is pretty darn good. It's still probably hovering around 40. But killer supply is still relatively high, also 40. He does knock down the gateway, but the problem is Mini cut for more gates, and he also has Citadel, so speed's going to be kicking in soon, and this Zealot count is going to ramp up to something like 11 in 1 more cycle. I imagine.
You know what? I don't think he's going to kill this +1. He has enough units to defend.
I don't think he's going to kill the Zealots. I think speed's kicking in like 10 seconds. Maybe not. Okay, this is a really good micro from Killer. He killed 1 Zealot, but it's got to be just moments away. Speed, yeah, there it is. Kicks in, and now you better be running, man.
Yeah, but run where?
Yeah, where do you run? To your natural where there's no sunken? To your third base where there's no sunken?
The hatchery Nyoken is so low on HP, he's going to focus on the hatchery and kill it.
Yeah. He can literally do whatever he wants. It doesn't really matter what base he detects. It's just gonna... These zealots can't be stopped, and more units are coming across the map. He needs a drone drill, but the drones... That was a pretty good drill, but the problem is there's only one Hydra left over.
That something's gonna die as well. More zealots coming doesn't help Killer either. And the Coulter is killing Overlords as well. Killer is super behind right now.
Yeah, there's just no way to transition. You know, if he can get out a Lurker, maybe it can buy him time, but I don't think he rushed that upgrade.
To be fair, I'm actually surprised like he managed to get the extra hatcheries and the lair. But you can see like he's missing so many drones in the minerals. So yeah. I'm not really sure how that is going to help.
Yeah, actually, if he had retreated those Hydras instead of engaging the Zealots instantly, like at Mini's choke point, it seems like he could have held his natural. But I agree, this overall was a good hold from Killer. Like, he's not dead, but we do have a DT drop, and this is just typical Mini fashion. Why drop one DT when you can drop 3 or 4 of them?
I remember one game, like there was a Protoss player that made like 6 DTs. That was insane to see.
Sounds like a Mini type move. And we've got the drop going in right now, and unfortunately for Killer, there is 0 defense here. There is 0 overlords here. And those units that just dropped deal a lot of damage. Goodbye drone line.
He's not even see this.
Yeah, he doesn't even see it. He has no idea. The entire line's massacred. I'm just waiting to see Killer's reaction. He still doesn't see it, by the way.
Now he's going to know. It's like, oh wow.
Oh wow. Well, nice build from Mini and good execution with the Zealot. Do you think it really just came to that single drone that he built in the beginning? If he had 6 lings there instead of 4, you think he would have held it easily?
It's probably going to help. Something I realized in the early game, when I saw the worker fighting the drone, right? Actually, Mini was the delay in the spawning pool.
Oh yeah, he did delay it slightly. That's true.
But man, what a beat. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was a pretty big beatdown. Like I said, Killer transitioned pretty nicely, and if those Hydras had retreated quickly, I think we could have actually got into a mid-game, but it would have still been a massive Mini advantage. The Hydras didn't even cancel +1 like you mentioned. But going into Polypoid, what do you think Killer needs to change? Does he need to change anything? Just, you know, control the early game a little bit better?
I feel like we're going to see the same build. Because it's very standard to do 973 on Polypoid. Yeah, you can do a Muta build as well. But like the most popular one is like doing a 973. Thing is like doing like hatchery first on Polypoid, you can like kind of rush that super strong. So I'm not really sure we're going to see a hatchery first. Probably a 9 pool or maybe overpool.
Okay. We'll see if Killer switches it up. But in the meanwhile, we do have this man 1 game away from moving into the Deciders match. It's Mini, while Killer looking to strike back in game 2.
Yeah, what is Killer going to do in this game?
Now, you said 973 is popular on Polypoid, but if I think back to recent seasons in ASL, 973 hasn't been used that often. So what makes Polypoid a good 973 map, do you think?
I feel like it's the way you spend. It's just like so natural to take like the tier and the 4 base so quick compared to other maps. Like this map is like so easy to spend, Nyoken. Like it almost makes like every game like 20 minutes.
Okay. By the way, that sign said, "Into the rain, you're so handsome." That's why the girl was cringing. So, a bit of memes going on in the audience. And I think you're right that this is going to be the same build, because there's the gateway expand. And we're going to have the 11 hatch again from Killer, I imagine. But the probe is slightly faster. Like, the probe, I think, can actually block top right.
He's actually going hatchery first and he's going to get cannon rushes.
Oh, it's a forge. I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I thought he blocked it.
No, he wants
No,
to. He wants. He wants.
that's too obvious. Even I know that's too obvious. That was way too blatant.
Oh my god, man. Poor killer. Like, can he actually defend this?
Well, I saw a recent video about dealing with cannon rushes
Oh,
from
but Nyoken,
Soma.
he's not believing it's real because of the last game.
Oh my gosh. And he is in for the bad realization that this hatchery is probably already done. And he even takes the gas to get out.
I mean, well, he's going to need to cancel this.
Yeah, he does need to cancel it, but he needs to at least force the cannon to complete. Like, you don't want to cancel and then the cannon just gets canceled, right? Is he going to let it complete? Like, it's seconds away from completing. Is he going to try and kill it with a sunken?
I feel like that's his intention, but I honestly, like, with 2 cannons or 3 cannons, this hatchery is dead.
And there's 2 probes here to disrupt the drones also, so that just buys him more time. Yeah, this is dead. This was... Oh, the sunken even range, or the cannon even ranges the sunken! This is a disaster.
Why is Mini attacking the egg?
I don't know, man. It's Mini. He does what he wants. We're going to have a run, but he's just giving it up. He's going to try and run into the main before the cannons and the SimCity can get set up. But Mini saw the links, obviously, so he's just going to get his probes into position. So that's 2 Sunkens gone, and the hatchery gone, and 8 Lings that aren't going to get in here.
Yeah, if we can do a run by here,
Really
maybe there is a chance for killer.
Really good control on the probes. He does kill 3 probes. Oh, he just insta-taps out. So well done from Mini. Great mind game there. And completely threw Killer off guard.
Yeah. Thing is, like, Mini repeat the same thing he did in the last game, and Killer didn't take it like serious. It was like, here is a bluff.
Yeah, but didn't you find it weird that Mini didn't try and deny that hatch? Like, he only poked it 1 time, and then he backed off really far. Like,
yeah, it was so obvious. It was so obvious he wanted him to, okay, make the hatchery, actually.
Well, Killer, I'm sure he's kicking himself for that game, but, you know, sometimes that happens. But he still had a good showing so far in ASL 16. He should be happy that he made it to the round of 16. He took down strong opponents too. Like he killed Snow, right? Like that's a formidable opponent to take down. So, you know, it's no big deal to lose to Mini. Mini's just a monster these days. But yeah, of course, this is not exactly how you want to go out.
I totally agree. I think it was a really good run by Killer. Like, he actually, like, he made a really good run, like killing Snow and, you know, advancing to this round stage. So he already did good. Obviously today you can say it was not really his day.
Yeah.
But sometimes it is what it is. Like, StarCraft is such a difficult game that sometimes you just like have like a day off and you lose in this manner.
Yeah, and this was definitely, I mean, all the round of 16 groups are strong, but when you look at it, you're just like, holy crap, this is legitimately, you know, 3 or 4 players that can go all the way to the finals. In fact, we've seen them in the finals the past 2 or 3 seasons. So we're going to be going into our deciders match in just a moment. It's Mini versus Mind. Of course, we got a commercial first. And we're back going into the final series of the day. We've got Protoss going up against Terran. It's going to be Mini versus Mind. Mini looking to get redemption from last season, and of course Mind looking to continue going deep into the tournament, making it into the round of 8, and making it the third Terran into the round of 8. Who do you got, man? You think Mini's going to strike back this season, or you think Mind's going to do it again?
Nah, I think my predictions were like early on that I like my pick were like Rush and Mini. So far one advance, but let's see if the other goes through it.
All right, you heard it here first. Eonzerg's got Mini. I actually got Mind, man. I'm a believer. I'm a believer in the solid defensive play from Mind. Let Mini use his shuttles, shut it down, then go for the counters like Rush did. That's what I think Mind's going to try and do here. Of course, we still want to see some interesting maps. I want to see Tempest. I want to see La Campanella. But I have a feeling at least one of those have got to go.
I feel like mine is like getting rid of La Campanella 100%.
I think he doesn't. Okay. Well, there goes La Campanella, and there goes Dark Origin. I guess he doesn't want to get gas stolen. You know, before we saw the bans, I was actually going to say, I don't think, like, Mine doesn't strike me as a harass-oriented player. Like, he doesn't, like, I don't think Tempest is his type of map, but I could be wrong. But it did get in. So we are going into our final series of the day. I think map was Polypoid. Yep, first map is Polypoid. Right in the bottom right are Yellow Protoss. It is Mini. In the top left, it is Mind.
Yeah, Nyoken. So TVP on Polypoid, I feel like it's the most classic you can get in the mashup. We're probably going to see like many expansions, like probably like even like the Protoss like taking the whole map at some point. I feel like it can get more classic than this on Polypoid.
Yeah, if there's no timing attack like a 7-fact, I think this could be an epic one. Polypoid is definitely one of the maps that Terrans are never vetoing. If you just look at the bases, mineral only, easy to get. 4th base, easy to get. 5th base isn't even that hard to get. And anybody that's played against Terran knows Terrans don't need more than 4 bases. Like, they can survive on 4 bases forever. So I'm hoping we get into an epic mid-late game scenario. We do have nothing unusual going on. I'm hoping that Mine goes for gasless or 14cc. And as I say that, it seems like Mini's gonna go 12 Nexus.
It can be worse for Mine, man. Cross spawns. This is a nightmare for Eternal.
Yeah, this is one of those scenarios where you turn on Artosis stream and you see him raging. They can't get away with it. It's cross spawn 12 Nexus. And, you know, I actually like gas into 12 Nexus because at least you get map control with mines, and you can go like dropship if you want. You can even go double expand as Terran with just mines. I think this is the better follow-up. If you're not going to get 14cc, I think that this is okay, but you are going to be down a considerable amount of workers.
Yeah. Yeah, I have seen so many Terrans players like raging. I have seen Flash raging when he scouted a Nexus first.
Well, yeah, it's because you can't do anything about it cross spawn. It's different if they spawn close and you can pull, but the additional like 10 seconds or so, that's too much of a difference. That allows them to get, you know, half of a zealot out, half more of a zealot out. Like it's like a big deal. So Mind is definitely. Oh, and the fact that he in-scouts, he finds it last.
He's scouting last. Scouting last.
Okay, this can't be worse. Like, the meta these days is to build like 3 Marines and then build a Vulture instantly because it's pretty effective versus a Goon. But in this scenario, you do not want to rush a vulture, because by the time you get across the map, there's going to be goons out. He really wants to get an add-on and then maybe go vultures with mine. So this is really bad.
There is a chance like now mine goes to the DCB with that DCB to the Protoss main and just GG. Because how bad this is going.
Yeah, this I can't understate how bad this is. And he did build a vulture, by the way. So he built an additional depot, he built a vulture, and that delays his command center even longer, and he's not going to be able to do anything to this. He's building more Marines that he doesn't need.
Well, at least he's going to deal well with the zero that is going to the Terra main right now.
Okay, he's pulling. Alright, this is... And wow, he got an add-on. So he's at least going to try and just end the game with this. And going add-on, it can be hit or miss. One, you do have mines in time for a counterattack, but you only have one vulture to support
he
these
needs batteries,
mines.
Nyoken. I don't think he doesn't have enough units to hold that.
I don't even know if he... Like, a battery is amazing, by the way, but I don't even know if he'll need a battery, because the game's about to get wild with the Zealot in his base. Okay, well...
actually,
he only has one SCV. Yeah, see, this is why it's so hard, is... If there were two Zealots here, he probably holds this attack. But there's a Zealot in the main now, and he's racking up so many SCV kills.
Wait, so he's just happy to lose the Nexus?
Yeah, you can lose the Nexus as long as you didn't cut probes, like, while it was happening. Like, he built a lot of probes while it was there. He's gonna lose the Nexus, but it doesn't matter, because what's Terran gonna follow up with?
Expansion?
Yeah, but he just pulled so many SCVs for that, and he lost like 2 or 3 SCVs in the main. Like, Mini's still ahead. Like, this is gonna be annoying to get out. But another thing is, Mind only left 1 SCV, so as soon as range kicks
that
in,
is true.
this bunker's dead.
Yeah, well, at least he got the Nexus. He is still producing SCVs non-stop, and he's building his own expansion.
Yeah, this is...
Mini is going Citadel.
Citadel? I thought that was Robo. Maybe I misread it. But anyways, at least this is actually playable from mine, because at least he got the Nexus, like you said. That's correct. And he didn't lose SCVs during that, other than the 2 or 3 in his main. But Mini's just gonna re-expand, and Mini knows that this guy can only have like 1 tank maximum, and maybe 2 or 3 vultures. So Mini could even consider double expanding once he gets an observer out.
Nice micro.
Yeah, he's got to be careful not to trigger both. He knows that they're there. There's one of them. Knows that one's still there. He wants it.
Amazing, bro. Honestly, you need to tip this.
Yeah. It looks like it's not impressive, but it actually is quite difficult to do. Now that Zealot, well, he didn't have the stutter step micro like the goons do.
Okay, so the build was pretty much like reset. Mine with a +1 attack, most likely from that armory. Nyoken, I'm gonna be honest, I feel like my position is not as bad.
Yeah, mine's position is actually pretty decent. That's a lot of goons to build that he doesn't really need to build unless he was intending to attack. So I'm not sure why he has so many goons. Okay, Vulture, if he catches that probe, there we go, catches a probe. This is actually not bad for mine. And he's also going armory really quickly after that. So he's gonna have upgrades. Vulture gets into the main somehow, kills another probe. Okay, can he get another one?
Yeah.
Almost. Wow, that's annoying. However, is there siege? I think siege just completed. Wow, look at that timing.
There's no way he's committing to that, right?
Well, he does have 8 goons. Goons are pretty strong. Or 7 goons. He takes down 1 tank, 2 tanks. That was an okay trade, because that Terran was on 1 pack for a long time. He of course doesn't know the follow-up. He doesn't know that it's an armory rush. But Meta is fast armory, so you can be pretty sure that there's no like 3 or 4 fact timing coming at him anytime soon.
Yeah, there is a river ready to go, but there is defense already. There are turrets everywhere.
Yeah, but with this pressure going on, you know, mine may not be as diligent as he normally is getting those turrets up. Like this, the turret at the ramp is just now going up. The turret in the main is just now going up. It should be in time, so he is going to fend off this Reaver most likely pretty easily. And we do have the double expand that I was talking about.
Yeah. Tier factory for mine here.
Okay, I hear turret gets the observer, but here comes that shuttle. That's a pretty deep turret. Unloads the zealot. Oh, look at him! He stopped firing on the tank because he wants that Reaver to get unloaded. So he's gonna lose the tank and lose 2 vultures and lose the turret. Of course.
Oh,
always. They never connect.
wait,
That one didn't
turret
connect
at least.
either. Crazy. He's gonna get the turret and a couple SCVs. Amazing, and at the same time attacks the front because he knows the tank count is low. You just
Wow.
you can't give Mini any opportunities to attack you. He will just exploit you. This is exactly what he does. Supplies were pretty close a moment ago. Now all of a sudden we've got a 30 supply lead with a Terran player that only has 2 tanks total.
Oh, he loses the river as well, Nyoken. So that is something. But yeah, if he, oh my god, if he gets this tank.
What happened to the second tank? I thought there was one in the main. Okay, there it is. Yeah, the Reaver is a costly loss, but I think the amount of damage he did with it was definitely worth, and of course, killing the tanks at the front were obviously worth. This does force Mind into 5 factories before expanding, so he's going to have his third base way late. I guess he still has opportunity to go for a 7 fact timing if he wants, but I think that window's kind of come and gone, so I don't expect that.
But is that 5 factory timing to? Is that to attack or just like to be able to expand with the mass units?
Yeah, to expand with mass units. You know, somehow Terrans have gotten so good that they can build 3, 4, 5 factories to have like a way later expansion than normal, and it still doesn't matter. Like they still play well in the mid and late game. So this is, despite taking a lot of damage and being obligated to build a lot of factories, mine still isn't out of it just yet. I see he has a science facility done, so his +2 weapon's going to be coming in pretty soon.
Okay. I'm not really sure what, like, because the mine to me now feels a bit too behind. Like we say early on, like he killed the Nexus, he was in a good spot in my opinion. But now it's like, I don't know, I just feel like Mini has like so much map control, he can take so many expansions, and mine's not going to be able to do like anything about it.
Yeah, for sure, it's advantage in Mini's favor. And if this was Snow, I would really be in favor of Snow, because you know there'd be carriers already building. But I think he's got a shot here, since we know that the tech's going to be later for Mini. Like, I think his Citadel just finished. We've got a Vulture drop into the main. It gets shut down pretty quickly, so that was good defense from Mini there. Reavers come back to save the day.
Cheap? Oh, almost got it.
That's going to be a 5th base in just a second, or at least a pylon to spot and get some vision. There's the 3rd command center as expected.
You know, the thing is, Nyoken, if actually like Mini builds like a big army, he can actually hit that timing of Terran taking that tier base, and that can be so dangerous. Like,
Yeah.
like mine can lose right away.
Yeah, that is true. But that's the reason Mind has the 5 factories, so you can have a lot of stuff when he tries and takes his 3rd base. And if Mini doesn't continue to expand, like let's say he doesn't take a 5th base, and he goes for that all in. If Mind holds that attack, all of a sudden Mind's in a pretty good position, because he's going to have the heavy upgrades. He's going to have obviously killed the attack, and that's going to allow him to take a 4th base also. So I think...
I'm not really sure, like, he has enough to take the suspension Nyoken.
Yeah,
Like 2 shuttles, I don't even see that many siege tanks.
Yeah, there's not that many tanks. He needs a bunker, and Mini just doesn't. He's not going to allow that to happen. Okay, the shuttle gets knocked down instantly. That mine drag was almost amazing, but you're right, the tank count is pretty darn low. The shuttles are trying to load up those Reavers while Zealot's coming in. Reavers aren't getting off. Okay, there we go. That's a big shot. And like you said, there was just not enough stuff when he moved out, and this is going to be mine getting denied this third base, and most likely tapping out in just a second, because he's going to lose a lot of SCVs here, too.
Yeah, it's just the army is insane. There are no tanks. Like,
Yeah.
do you need tanks? There are only vultures coming from factories.
Yep.
But there's 1 tank now. 2 tanks, actually.
If he could have gotten out one more cycle of units, you know, maybe there would have been a chance, because those Zealots wouldn't have been able to get through so easily. The Reavers wouldn't have been able to deal that much damage, but it was just a little bit too greedy for mine to go from that third base before hitting critical mass. And Mini, well, he striked when he knew he had a massive lead, and that's going to be game 1 going over to him in just a second.
Yeah, it's too much damage. Like,
You're going to walk to
maybe he's not going to die right away. You know, it's hard to kill a Terran.
Yeah. Well, this is Mini, man. He wants to end the game all the time. Shuttle bomb.
That is true.
There's going to be storm. There it is. GG. So well done from Mini. Good damage in the early game. And he just closes it out.
Nice game by Mini. Honestly. I was like a bit worried for him after losing the Nexus. But he recovered very well. He did a good job with the shuttle and the Reaver as well. He put pressure with Dragoons early on and killed 2 tanks, I believe. He actually managed to kill 2 tanks.
Yeah,
I think he killed the bunker at some point as well. So yeah, in this game I didn't really feel like mine had a chance, like a fair chance.
Yeah, just an unfortunate build order choice for him, and then, you know, Mini going 12 Nexus and spawning cross spawn, and you scout him last. Like, what can you really do? The Zealot also got in. Remember, it killed like 3 workers. So pulling 6 or 7 workers, losing 3 workers, and Protoss, you know, essentially only lost the Nexus. That's pretty hard to recover from. But I think mine did a good job in his recovery. It was just the follow-up attacks just did way too much, like you said. Imagine if he had 2 more tanks when he was trying to take third base. You know, he may have still gotten busted, but at least he would have killed probably the majority of Mini's army. So we're going into our second map, which is going to be Tempest. And as I was saying, mine doesn't strike me as like a big-time harass type of Terran. So I think that this is going to be a good map for Mini.
Indeed. But this map it has to be like a dream map for Mini.
Yeah, you imagine so. 12 Nexus, you pull it out in Polypoid. 12 Nexus, I think, is probably a great opener on Tempest too. And I don't think you can really, you know, like BBS in the center, right? So there's not really good areas to go for a BBS and try and blind counter 12 Nexus. So I think it's likely we're going to see 12 Nexus again. But maybe that will cause mine to go for something like 14cc or gasless expand here.
It's true he did a 14cc against Rush. So, but he's like 1 game from elimination, so risk it all now? I don't know.
Yeah, well, we're getting into game 2. Mini 1 game away from sending the first Protoss into the round of 8. And Mini, he is spawning at the top right. Whereas our Terran, he is going to be spawning in the bottom right.
I was thinking, Nyoken, like, this doesn't seem to be like a map to do like a far gateway, right? Like proxy gate and be aggressive with silos.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think if you are gonna be aggressive with zealots, you build it at your natural. Like, I don't think we're gonna see proxy gates at all. Who's that? Oh! It's up there with Mini, man.
Mini biggest fan.
He might be. Well, we're not going to see forward gate this game. Meanwhile, Mind. Everything normal so far.
Yeah, very standard opening. What do you think like Mind can do here? Like, because like he's not like super aggressive player. Can he actually like go like, I don't know, like can he do like draw chip?
Well, looking at the map, mains are pretty big. He's got a direct path to the main. I think drops could be good. Hopefully that racks. Nope, it's not going to be on high ground. And Eonzerg, you knew it. You knew it had to be 12 Nexus, and we've got it again. This time, he is going to gas again. So he's going to go for the same build. At least he's close spawns, but it's going to be on high ground. And there's not, like, what a lot of Terran players do versus 12 Nexus is they build a bunker far away and then they leapfrog it closer. You just can't do that on this position. Like, you've got one spot to build a bunker, and that's it.
You know what is worse, Nyoken, than doing like Nexus first? It's like doing Nexus first and scouting first.
Yeah. At least he's going to find the Nexus instantly here. So he will have the option to continue mining gas, trying all in, or, you know, continue building Marines, whereas last game, you know, he just had to go with what he had already built. So
oh my god, he's making factory, man.
Yep, and he sees the bad news. 12 Nexus is the build of choice for Mini here. He has pulled off.
I have to say that this position is more comfortable to be aggressive. Like if we wanted to repeat the play from the last game, that is going to be more straight.
Yeah. Now he is doing a move that I like, which is send one Marine across the map. And the reason I like this is at lower levels, what you can do is attack the probes at the natural with your Marine, and in the main, you attack the mineral line with your SCV. And they struggle to micro both sides, and you can actually kill a probe here and there. But instead he's going to sync it up with his SCV, and at least it's going to force Mini off of mining for a few seconds.
Yeah, Mini man making a forge, making sure that he's not gonna die to any timing. I mean, mine is forced now to take his suspension and just play normal.
Well, I would say that this was a win for mine. Forcing out a forge and a cannon, Protoss does not want to build that. That delays their cybernetics, that delays their robo, and Terran sees it. So, you know, he knows that, well, there's no chance of like 2 or 3 zealots running at me. I can skip a bunker now. So overall, I would say that this was a good play from Mind. He's going to be able to scale his build a little bit better compared to Mini's last game.
Yeah, Mind keeping that DCB alive, getting all that information. That is good for him. Not really sneaky gateways or anything from Mini that he can put. You know, like, Mind here, like, looking at the map, I feel like a dropship play could be, like, really interesting. And don't forget that you can put, like tanks in the high ground of the National.
Oh yeah, that's true. Delaying that robo could have been a big deal. I'm not sure how fast you can get a starport out as Terran, but that could have been a move that could really have paid dividends for him. But we, of course, don't see a starport, so that's not going to happen. I like the pylon block at the bottom, making sure that Terran doesn't just double expand off of, you know, 2 or 3 vultures.
Oh, 3 gateways.
Yeah, that's an interesting build. I guess he feels like building the cannon, building the fort, that's a lot of money to spend. That doesn't help you if Terran was going for a push. He wants to at least have the ability to produce some units.
Yeah, what do you think like Mind is going to do here? Like 5 factories again?
I think he's gonna... Well, I thought he was gonna get a fast armory, but every time I keep looking at his main base, I don't see an armory anywhere. So I'm actually not sure what this is. I'm hoping that building that's being built right now off to the side of his command center as an armory? Okay, there it is.
Yeah, there is armory.
It's already done. Alright, so I take that back. So I think it's probably just going to be 3 factories, build up a sizable army, then expand and take his third base.
Yeah, it's true that the tier expansion for Terran is like, it seems to be like very easy to take, very easy to defend. So like don't really need to be super aggressive.
Yeah, even the 4th base is pretty easy. And those mines are well placed throughout the top side of the map. We've got eBay coming in. I saw an observatory completing for Mini. Reaver shouldn't be coming, at least not just yet. I don't see support bay anywhere actually.
Wow, Mini feeling like in fear that Terran is going to make a draw chip. He's making cannons already in the main. This early.
Yeah, I guess he was worried about drops. Unfortunately, this game didn't meet those 2 cannons at all. That is, okay, support base, so just kind of a delayed Reaver. And Mini should be taking his 3rd base behind this. So everything so far looks pretty normal. I expect 3rd factory to come down pretty soon. I'm actually kind of surprised there's no 3rd factory just yet. Maybe Mind thinks he can hold his 3rd base with just 2 factories? And then putting it off command center?
That is going to be interesting to hold that tier expansion with only 2 factories. And on top of that, like Mini is doing Reaver tech, so he's going to be attacking in multiple places. I feel like.
Well, there's Starcraft.
Okay.
That SCV coming up has to be for additional factories. Supplies are.
Can this Nyoken be like a great rush to do like some kind of like all in?
Well, it can be like the 2-1 7 fact timing that Rush went for, but he needs to scan and see something like carriers to trigger that, or scan and see like, okay, you know, maybe this guy has like double robo or something crazy where he's spending a lot of money on shuttles that don't really help you that much. But because he's not going to see that, I expect this to just be a command center.
The Starcraft seems like to be like quite fast.
Oh, as I say that, there's the 2nd robo. Okay, well, I guess there is, and the scan goes off, so he might pull the trigger on that.
Fully walling, making 2nd armory.
There's a science facility, starport with an add-on, I think. I still don't see a big block for the command center. Okay, Mini comes in here, instantly loses the Zealot. Good micro right there. There is definitely a timing here. If you're gonna go double robo, I think a lot of Terrans would actually just go for it. But it is still gonna be tough because Protoss is obviously still gonna have a lot of gateways, but your 2-1 is so fast, you may be able to deal a lot of damage. Now Vultures get into the 3rd base, rack up 4 or 5 probe kills, and they get out.
Yeah, good job by Mind doing that damage on. But you know what? I still don't have a clear picture of what Mind's. He's making mass factories.
Yeah, and still no command center, so this could actually be a 7 fact. I gotta say though, his building placement is kind of weird. Okay, there's the 6 factory. Like, I'm looking at how spread out they are and how there's a random depot at the right side. If we get into late game where Terran wants to have like 8, 9, 10 factories, I'm just thinking to myself, where are you gonna build them, dude? You're using up a lot of your space in your base with all these buildings spread out so much. But it is gonna be a 6 fact timing. Well, this could get dangerous for Mini because now he's building another Nexus. That's 400 minerals. He's got double robo, so he's building a lot of shuttles. And this is...
Dropship Nyoken. He's going to destroy Mini with that dropship.
Okay. A drop somewhere in the map while also attacking.
By the way, making double double robotic, it seems so weird to me to be making a dropship, but okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what this dropship is gonna do because it well, if he does it kind of like what Rush did, where he uses it after he's done his main attack, like I can see that making sense. Just picking Mini apart. But here we go. Speaking of picking players apart, Mini's going for a drop himself. This has got to be like a tank drop in the main, right? Because there's already a vulture or already a cannon there. There we go.
Well, that's a good start.
Yeah, this is a good... Wow, that was a big hit. Now, I think when you make a move like this, you got to be moving out on the map at the same time. Gets the goon. He actually didn't make any moves out on the map, really, other than those vultures that didn't really even lay that many mines. So, but look at the supply. Dude, Mini is now down 10 supply somehow.
Yeah, he do some workers there, Nyoken, and he's making that for expansion as well. He doesn't really know like the amount of production mine has, and he's like still making eco.
Oh.
So I don't really know how he's going to hold the big attack that is coming. And look at this.
I would... Okay, we've got the drop into the main. There's... Oh my gosh, he hit the Reaver with one of the mines. He pops one of them. There's still not quick reaction from mine to... Oh, he got both the Reavers, and the drop at the natural is doing a lot of damage. So, if mine just counterattacks right now, I think this is his moment of opportunity. His 2-1's about to kick in.
I was going to say that there are only chatters left. There are no units.
Yeah, this is just too big of a mineral. Wow. He went double Robo, he went Reaver, he went Storm, and took 4 bases. That's a lot of tech to be going. And he's gonna get punished for it. This army is
He doesn't have any units.
Yeah,
he has the 1 Seal and 2 High Templars.
This is a pretty unstoppable army right now.
I mean, there is no vessel, so maybe mass DTs?
That would definitely be a mini move, but I don't know how you stop this. He lost a lot of probes also. Okay, well, Natural's 100% dead. Mini or Mine can start branching off and take down the 3rd base also. Or he can just siege the gateways, I guess. Well, there are Templars in there. There's 1 Storm. Zealot ain't gonna be enough, man. There's only like 4 goons in the back. They're gonna die to single tank. I think we're going to game 3, Eonzerg. This army can't be stopped.
100%. Like, if Mini actually win this, I'm switching to Protoss.
Yeah. Archon being morphed, that's when you know you're desperate.
But that River can connect like some good Scarabs. You know, like good hit, can do magic. But there's so many tanks.
There's so many tanks. The army is like not necessarily pure Zealot technically because there's Archons, but there's 0 goon support. Archon's gonna get melted. Tank on high ground outside of his base. He's gonna start popping gateways. There's a single Goliath here shooting down the shuttle.
Yeah, Mini wasn't really prepared for this, man. He's losing all the gateways, can't even make that many units. Look at the minerals. They are so high, he doesn't have production.
Yeah, Mini has a big bank. If he somehow could flank with some units from the backside, maybe he could stop this army, but he's now down to just 4 gateway production. It's too late to be building these. Zealot bombs are pretty good. He's eliminating a decent amount of tanks doing this, but he's just running out of steam. Okay, Reaver, really good shot there. He needs to get a couple more tanks. There's another good shot. There's a big yellow blob in the center of the map, if you can see that. That's not here. I wonder if those are vultures. Okay, there we go. Now he's sending them.
Yeah, 2 Reavers now.
3 Reavers. 4 Reavers. Just many things.
But the siege tanks, man, they have range.
Well, he's going to try and use these 2 Reavers to go for a counter drop, but there's double turret plus a tank. So that Reaver drop got shut down.
Okay, so that's probably it.
Yeah, there's nothing to produce with other than the robos, pretty much. Reavers aren't going to save you this time around.
Well, they're still doing damage. In theory, Mini is on 3 bases. Like, he can actually make the gateways and everything in the other base. Like, you know, like...
Yeah.
And mine is going to be... Like, he need to expand. like he might need to be careful. Like he actually don't overcommit to this. Like this base is mine out already.
It is true that I am very surprised that there's no command center at any base. Mini is building a lot of gateways at top left. One problem for Mini, among several, is these probes at top right. How does he get them to bottom left, or to top left, I mean? He's gonna have to build additional shuttles to get them to safety.
Oh my god, I hope Mini doesn't win this, because I said I will switch to Protoss.
Yeah, we don't want that. Then there will be even more Protoss players on the ladder.
But you know what? He's like making a new base, and I mean, there are not that many siege tanks, and there's still shuttles with rivers that can intercept the tanks. So I don't know. I don't feel like the game's over.
Yeah, the amount of time that it took mine to actually get a third base is shockingly long. There's a single reaver up here trying to save the day. There's so many tanks here, just 5 of them. Oh, DT man, you were talking about it.
Yeah, but there is vessel now. Oh, wait a minute.
Dude, there's no way. There's no way. This would be the most heartbreaking way to lose, I think.
Yeah, he's going to kill that base, like, pretty much. And that's like last mining base for Mini, by the way.
Well, we got DTs out on the map. Mini has enough money that he could retake his natural expansion. Almost killed one of those tanks there. DTs and Zealots running in. Reavers unload. Kill 2 out of the tanks.
Okay, Nyoken, how many minutes do you think like mine has left?
I don't know, actually, because he's about to be mined out, in fact. He built so many... When
No
you play
way.
this style with this many SCVs, you actually mine out your main and natural really quickly. These Reavers, how do they do this much damage?
Nyoken, that Mini expansion is actually like a main. It's like he has like 9 patches, and with the amount of workers he has, that is like really good income comparing it to Terran.
Yeah. He's taking his natural. He still doesn't know about retaking the natural. Okay, maybe he scanned it now and he's gonna go kill that. All Mind really has to do is make sure Mini's just stuck on one base here. Whether it's killing top left and leaving the top right natural. Okay, or do this. Just get into the mineral line.
Solid damage now, killing that many workers.
There we go.
That's it, like it's only silos. Like vultures actually they play with silos.
Yeah. Oh man, this was an amazing comeback from Mini, but it seems that this vulture run by is going to seal the deal. Now, this is a heavily fortified position. No way Mini can damage it any longer.
Yeah, he has many workers in that base, so actually it's funny. He's good. He has some income now coming. But yeah, I feel like now this probably just like gives the stability that Mines needs.
Yeah, they're just where do you attack now? Like the Reavers can't harass. There's turrets, there's vessels for the DTs. Vultures are now starting to lay mines on other portions of the map. You have you do have gateways at your top right base, but not really anything to defend those robos or anything anymore. Vultures into the natural again.
Oh man, many fighting, but you know what? Mine's going to finish it now.
Yeah, mine's had enough.
Base, how?
Do what?
He retook the top left base. Like I saw no workers, nothing. Like the vultures killed everything.
Yeah, I think he loaded up some workers in his shuttle, so that's why that's how he was able to resaturate it so quickly, because he saved most of them, or some of them, not most of them. Vulture's gonna kill these probes, and the way Mini's leaning now, you know it's gotta be over, but he's not giving up just yet. He's saying, I'm not down and out. I can storm drop you, maybe to victory. Nope. GG.
GG. What a tricky game.
Yeah, even though Mind ends up winning, there were moments that looked like Mini might have actually brought it back. I think if he had have built gateways at top left, a little bit faster instead of trying to build gateways in his main and trying to save that, because that just couldn't be saved. You know, maybe there was a world where he could have actually saved top left. I'm not sure.
Props to mine, man. That was a Nexus first by Mini, so
Yeah.
props to mine for winning that.
Yep, he did a good job. And now we're going to be going into map 3, and we got mine getting a victory on the map that I didn't expect him to really be favored on. What was map 3?
I don't remember, honestly.
Was it Apocalypse?
Richie, maybe? Oh, Apocalypse.
I don't remember either. I know Dark Origin was vetoed by Mind, and La Campanella was vetoed by Mini. I think it is Apocalypse again, but I could be wrong. Let's see.
Do you think Mini is going to repeat the Nexus first again?
Why not? It's not
Invader.
bad. Well, okay, I don't know about doing it on Invader, but you know, maybe if he's willing to get spicy, could see it 3 games in a row. Regardless, this is the last game of the day. Winner's gonna be moving on to the round of 8. Loser will be eliminated. So in the bottom right position, our purple Protoss, it's Mini, and in the top left we've got our yellow Terran. It is Mind.
Do you see Nyoken Mini lose confidence by losing with a Nexus first?
Maybe. I don't know. 12 Nexus is a strong build, so maybe he'll mix it up a little bit. You know what I actually want to see? I want to see Mind BBS on the right side of the map. And the reason I say that is I think the chances of Mini going Pylon, Scout, Gas, like Gas Steal, and delaying his gate is kind of high. And if you BBS and the gate is delayed like that, the game's over. Like, you're just dead. So we'll see if that's actually the case. Doesn't seem like it's... Oh, well, there's the Pylon, and there's the fast Scout.
Yeah, BBS Nyoken.
I don't see a probe going to the low ground, so BBS might have been the insta-win for him.
That's too crazy to pull, no? BBS?
That's a bit much, especially on a 2-player map. We do see Mind going out for a fast scout because he wants to make sure that he's not being proxied. And he does intercept the probe, so he will be able to take his gas. But that's going to lead to a 12 Nexus. That's what Protoss is just going to do. Oh, you delayed your racks? Okay, 12 Nexus time.
Oh, wow. Nah, man, Mini. I can't believe, like, 3 games in a row, man. Nexus first.
I think in this particular scenario, this is pretty much the dream. Like, you're delaying the econ of one of the SCVs. You delayed the racks. He can't punish you anymore. At least I don't think he can. And you're just being annoying. Like, you might as well just go for this. There's no way you can really be punished at all. So I think this is fantastic from Mini.
Well, Mine won the last game, so...
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be, at this point, like, too surprised that Mini is playing Nexus first. But I have to say, like, Mini last build was, like a bit different. Like, he made a early forge. He even, like, went as far as making early cannons to defend a draw chip that never happened. Or it happened late, like super later in the game.
Yeah, and this time around he's got double gate, and it's in a weird position. I don't know if I've ever seen someone double gate forwardly like this before. That SCV might die, by the way, if the probe chases him down. Oh, he's dead. Yeah, you gotta turn around, dude. You are not allowed to pass.
Yeah, man, Protoss workers with a laser, they're annoying.
They are super annoying, and this is a pretty fast cybernetics, actually. I'm not sure if he cut or what he did for this, but this cybernetics feels quick. Look, he is.
Even if you made 2 gateways, it feels quick.
Yeah, I'm just looking at, like, remember, he opened 12 Nexus, right? And I'm looking at the factory timing, and I'm like, are we not going to have a Vulture by the time Goons get out, you know? Like, that's really pretty fast.
It's possible because, like, I feel like he skipped Zealot.
Yeah, he skipped Zealot. He built no defense in the early stages. Bunker comes in. SCV didn't scout at all, right? I don't think he even has any idea that this is 12 Nexus. Now, this might be a proxy starport, the way the SCV is moving.
Proxy starport. That could be really, really interesting.
There it is. So we're going to have proxy starport. I like how Mini's already putting pylons on the side of his base to scout for it. Vulture does get in. Okay, this is, again, another way for a Terran to get back into it. Gonna kill one. Really, if you can get 3 probes here, you're feeling pretty good. Two is obviously not bad, but 3, you're feeling really good about that trade. So he gets 2. Well done from that, from him.
Yeah, Mini, I don't think he's going to scout that starport at all. So, if he's actually not putting units in the main to defend that, he's going to get a lot of damage.
Yeah, and because he has those gates up by his natural, like, that can't even help with the SimCity in his main. And I'm just looking at his main right now. There's a completely wide open main at the bottom side of his Nexus. Not really any SimCity at all. No Robo, no additional.
Okay, that's a lot of units.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff. That bunker's probably dead.
That can take the bunker.
Yeah,
he's about to die.
He needs to surround the bunker with SCVs. He didn't get the surround. Oh my gosh, and all the Marines are dead. And because he went for drops, he has no tanks at all. I don't even think he has mines in his main. Mini's just gonna walk in here. Okay, there's one tank. He needs to hold this ramp desperately. At least he got mines on the retreat. So if Mini does try and run away, he will take losses.
Oh, he used the Silo to clean the mines.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, okay. So he does probably hold this attack. Okay, maybe not. I guess he's not going to hold this attack. Zealot is still, I guess, pretty healthy. No, of course, it just dies. The drop, I can see it's already built at bottom left, but what do you load up into it? All the vultures are dead.
That is true. He doesn't have anything to drop. And he doesn't even like have the expansion running.
Yeah.
So by the time he actually gets something in that dropship, Mini is going to be probably like ready. I mean, like, even if he doesn't die, if he doesn't kill mine right here.
Yeah. Alright, Mini. Unknowingly to Mini, killing every vulture here is huge for him because Terran's on one factory. He desperately wants to go for the drop, but he can't. He gets the factory. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. He actually got that barrack, man.
Yeah, Mini knows this is his game to take at this point. It's almost impossible for him to lose at this position. Terran's like not even mining their natural, essentially. He might even kill the command center.
By the way, he has to smell that something is up with this like tank that doesn't have siege.
Yeah, it doesn't have siege. He's not building more than 2 tanks. He's got to know. Well, Mini is bleeding off a decent amount of goons, but it just doesn't matter. He's done so much damage.
Yeah, I still don't see a tier base for Mini. I feel like he could make one.
Yeah, I think he did see the dropship come over by the racks also, so he should know it's drops now. Goons moving in. This is such a painful way to lose.
Yeah, I didn't see this coming at all. The build really didn't work out for mine here. It's a bit sad to actually to lose in that way because he's been playing great, like in the whole day. Now you have this tricky game, and this is painful.
Yeah. Well, here comes the drop. Fortunately for him, 2 goons are in position. The SimCity is now set up, and Reaver's going to be popping out in just a second. And that is, yeah, not a gap at the bottom. So he's going to come in here, maybe get a handful of probes. or not.
Not even
Yep,
that,
2.
Nyoken.
Yep. So I don't know what you do in mine's position now. I think you gotta all in, but it's gonna be so slow. I don't think.
Because it actually is so hard to spend on this map. Like, you could try to actually hold up an expansion, but it's so hard to defend that.
Yeah, he's gonna try and play upgrades and try and stall the game out, which I think is also a fine choice. But it's just you're just gonna give up so much map control to Mini. Like, literally the entire map's gonna be his. In fact, if I was him, I may just take the corner base at top right as my 4th base, because that's on Terran's side of the map and I know they can't do anything about it.
Oh man. Is that shuttle speed or is it just normal speed?
I'm sure it has speed. I think, yeah. Mini loves speed shuttles. It definitely has speed. So Mini's going to take his 3rd base, transferring his workers now. Reaver's set up in case there's Vulture run-bys. Mind, he's going to try and play out of this. Remember, he lost his racks. He lost all of his tanks and his Vultures. He's only got 2 facts in total. He has like 3 tanks in total. His supply is surprisingly okay, despite everything that's gone on. But this is very hard to come back from.
I mean, with some grace and maybe like a big fight, you know, like always like it comes to these like fights you take, and you know, Mini love to overcommit in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
So with a good fight and good grades, maybe he can actually like come back.
Yeah, if he can
Look at this.
Yeah, he got a few probes. If he could drop onto the high ground with like even just 1 tank drop and shut down that base, maybe that could be a way back into this game. Here comes the Reaver drop. There's just not much defense. 1 tank is gonna die. 2nd tank does die. And remember, the command center is half health, so it may just get killed right here. He taps out. GG.
Man.
Well done for Mini.
I can't believe he pulled that last attack, by the way. That's probably the highlight of the game. With that, the micro with the Reaver and the Zealot. That was insane.
Yeah, it can definitely catch you off guard like it did versus mine. The 4 goons, 2 zealot, it hits really fast for being a 12 Nexus. Like, it's shockingly fast. And unfortunately, going drops in that scenario and not having mines, well, what can you really do? The only thing you can do is have like a complete surround, and he just didn't react in time.
I have to say, Mini this time, he played a really good game. And in the first game, but then the second game, he actually allowed like mine to come back. Like, I feel like that was Mini game to lose.
Yeah, but he still makes it out. We still get a Protoss into the round of 8, so 2 Terrans, 1 Protoss, 1 Zerg.
My life for Artgyr.
Yeah. Round of 8's shaping out to be a lot better than the round of 16 was. We only had 3 Protoss there, so I'm happy to see that we've already gotten 1 into the round of 8.
Yeah, man, and such a strong one as well as Mini. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. And let's see here. Like, he needed to pull right now, because at this point, it's too late. I actually was surprised that the goons didn't get closer to the bunker than they were. Oh man, and that didn't help at all. Instantly killing all 3 Marines.
Yeah. That was a good attack. Mine, I wasn't expecting that attack at all. Like, Mini to commit to kill the bunker. It's funny because I have the feeling I have seen this before. No, it's not really the first time. But he wasn't really prepared for this.
Yeah, as a Terran, you have your bunker and you feel like you're safe, but they're surprisingly weak unless you can get a good surround with your SCVs. I've had games where I scout that it's a DT rush on 1 base. I get my bunker, I get my turret, and I'm like, oh, well, you can't do anything now. And then they show up with 6 DTs, and I watch my bunker just die in like 1 swing. And I'm like, oh, okay. I guess I don't have as much defense as I thought. So
It should be illegal to make 6 DTs.
it should be.
Just saying.
Well, congrats to Mini.
Congrats, man. It's been a long day casting, to be honest.
Yeah, 3.5 hours, a little bit longer than yesterday. I'm happy that Mini made it in because, he was the champion like 2 seasons ago. Then he got blasted last season. And I'm happy he redeemed himself from last season.
Yeah, last season it was shocking to see him losing against Zack. But yeah, he's back now. He's in the round of 8. So this guy is able. He already won a championship. This guy is extremely good. I have like really confidence he can go like very far. It's not very dangerous to play. It's a player that is very dangerous to play, but at the same time, it's a player that is so unstable sometimes.
Yeah.
Like he bleeds.
Yeah, that is true. Like the Tempest game, right? Build order was great until he put down the second robo. I even said it, right? Like, if it's a second robo, you can do the 7-fact timing, and that's what he did. He went for the 7-fact timing, and there's just so many units that Terran has, whereas, yes, you have a lot of shuttles, but how are you going to stop all these units?
It's so funny, Nyoken. There was a moment in the game that he lost like all the units and everything, and there was like in the natural 1 silo, the 2 High Templars, and then like 4 shuttles around. Like he didn't have anything to hold the big attack that was coming.
I know. I have the same thoughts when I watch Winnie. I'm like, dude, how do you get to the comps like this? This is just so weird. You're the only one that I watch build Archons, and you consistently have Archons. I don't know. It's strange.
Yeah, he did a good job with the storm drop in that game, but sadly, it was just too late.
Yeah.
So mini advance, rush advance. Who else advanced? Yesterday it was
Don't even act like you don't know who advanced yesterday.
F4 and JYJ. Okay.
You know.
F4 and JYJ. I mean, this ASL is like super quality.
Yeah. We've gotten really good players in the round of 8. We've got some upsets, obviously, also. I'm excited for Group C, actually. I think out of all the groups, even though I'm a Terran player, Group C, Hero, man, always rooting for him. I really want to see him face off in his group on next week, trying to bring up his group to see the exact players.
I mean, you have to be like, it has to be hard to be a fan of Hero, right? Like always losing in the semis.
Yeah, always losing in the semis does make me sad. But at least when you're rooting for Hero, he's not going to lose in the round of 24, right? He's going very far.
That is true. Thank you, Nyoken, for that comment.
Let me see.
Hero is extremely good, and the guy is extremely talented at CBC and Serve vs Protoss. The only weakness he has, honestly, is like Serve vs Terran.
Yeah.
So yeah, if he actually gets the good matchups, he can like go always like very very far.
Well, you should be hyped about Group C because it is Hero, Ample, Soulkey, and Bisu. And everybody knows you love Hero, Soulkey, and Bisu.
Yeah, man, it's a really good group, not gonna lie. That group is insane, Nyoken. Don't give any predictions because I want Bisu and Soulkey to advance.
No predictions? Yeah, okay, I won't. My picks always lose.
Yeah, yeah. You telling me now that like Bisu advancing? We know Ample actually going in.
Yeah, Ample. I think what did it say on his profile? He was like 1-7 versus Protoss in ASL. For sure, if I was to say Bisu's making it out, Ample's gonna get his second win. 100%.
To be honest, that would be amazing. By the way, to see Ample go that far.
It would, because Ample crushed it in the round of 24. Like, he murdered. Was it Queen? Like, he really stepped up his game. And then his game versus Sharp, even though he lost, was really good too. And I know a lot of Terran players in the foreign scene do like Ample because he used to stream on Twitch. He's one of the few people, or few Korean pros that actually interacted with foreigners. I remember him doing some games versus, was it Hawk and Jaeyoon? Yeah, so it would be nice to see him make it into the round of 8.
Yeah, he's a friendly guy. I remember him streaming on Twitch at some point. So yeah, I think we're going to finish this interview. Mini man, I really need him to play a little bit better because to beat someone like Rush, JYJ, Royal, if we make it, I feel like he need just a bit more, like to play more, like more consistent.
Yeah, consistency is key. And when you're playing players of that caliber, we're getting a look at how today went. Mine, I would say, probably played perfect versus Killer. I think that was just absolutely perfect. He crushed him. In the second game, Rush takes down Mini. Then we got Rush taking down Mind. And then Killer unfortunately losing. And then, of course, Mini knocking out Mind. So, what is this? Oh, this is Group A and Group B overall. I was like, wait a minute, how do we have 8 players in the round of 8 already? There's
Yeah,
Group
man,
C.
I wish that was like, the people like, in the round of 8.
So, as we were mentioning, Group C, that's a hella stacked group, mostly Zergs and Protosses. And then we've got another epic Terran group in Group D. We've got Best, well known for his PVT. And surprisingly, I think actually his PVZ is his highest rated matchup. I think I remember seeing that. But he's going to be going up against Action. And didn't we have epic games last season of Action versus Best? Remember, we had Maelstrom. We had that all-in on Vermeer where I thought Action could transition out of it, but then he just GG'd at a random point. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. So many good games by then. The one on Nemesis as well. That was super
Oh,
insane.
yeah.
I actually was so behind, but somehow he took over the map. But in the end, like wasn't enough, and Best win that in the last minute. Like Alshon tried to kill it, finish it with many guardians, but actually like Best killed all of them. It was an epic game.
Yeah, that was, I totally forgot about that game, but yeah, that was wild. I'm trying to think, do we have, oh, we have a map that could get that wild. La Campanella. Imagine
Uh,
if we got another game as epic like that on that map.
that is true. Like we already like saw the potential of La Campanella with the F4 and versus Free. Obviously, in my opinion, Free for some reason he didn't really focus on taking top left. Uh, but we saw the potential. It can bring like crazy games like that, like the one on Nemesis. And guys, we are done with the day. So Nyoken, you can say goodbye to our viewers.
Yep, thank you guys so much for watching. No more games this week. We'll be back next Monday and Tuesday with Group C and D, and we'll see you there.
See you.